Tea sippers. What it do? What it do? It look like we've gotten some updated information that's very enlightening. Oh my God. Oh, oh my God. It's how the world turns. How Frisco turns. How the story changed. Hey. Baby. If they don't find him not guilty, I see. Now I see why they wanted to alter. Hey, Janet, hi, Kayla. Now I know why they wanted to alter, why the video was grimy. You could only see it from a distance. Why they don't want anybody in there to be able to, it to be live. The cover up, man. Woo! I'm not gonna stall. I had to finish up my vittles. And baby, I think you're gonna be shocked if you haven't already heard what was really going down in the hood of Frisco. Because they were hoodlums. They were hoodlums. And I don't know if you know how they be, hold on, how they be having, I don't know. Hold on. But this was crazy. Let me back it up. Let me take it off of mute.
Case has only opening statements followed by witness testimony today.
And the expert, and they were able to see the video. I don't know if they brought in that 4K, but baby, what a difference a few hours make. Let's go. Let's go.
Opening statements followed by witness testimony today in the track meet stabbing trial. both sides making their case
Self-defense
to the
is
jury.
not a crime.
Former Frisco Centennial student Carmelo Anthony is charged with murder in the death of Memorial High School student Austin Metcalf. Interest in the case has only intensified since the trial began. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez has been
Hey,
tracking the case for
Rebecca.
us. She's live at the Collin County Courthouse with today's opening statements. Rebecca?
Cynthia, I have never seen so many people trying to get into a courtroom before the crack of dawn. There must have been 100 people lined up to get one of the 27 seats inside
Please
that
listen
are
with your
reserved
good
for the
ear.
public. But once they got in there, they heard two very different versions about what happened between Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. Prosecutor Bill Wurtsky, during his opening statement to jurors, said, "This
You're a
is a
liar.
provoked, unjustified murder. The killing is senseless. You cannot provoke someone and produce a knife and take a life."
So y'all know earlier,
Defense attorney Mike Howard, during his opening statement to jurors, said, "There's been a lot of noise around this case, a lot of completely false information. Austin makes the first physical contact after he defended himself, that means Carmelo Anthony, he ran. Someone who wasn't in the courtroom but is expected to testify is Hunter Metcalf."
bring his line butt
I
in
think
there.
probably because he's a potential witness, and they probably have invoked the rule that anybody that's going to potentially testify cannot be inside the courtroom as the testimony is happening, because they want him to come in and testify to what he knows, not what he heard in the courtroom.
Right.
Of course, Hunter Metcalf was Austin's brother. Now, this afternoon, Austin Metcalf's coach testified that before the track meet, he sent him a text message saying, "Step up
The
and be a
coach.
leader." Then he described seeing Metcalf in a pool of blood. It was very emotional.
Step up and be a leader. Was he stepping up and being a leader? Is that where he got that from? The coach? Did that mean put people out, push them out, beat them up? You know, what did that mean? Be a leader. Did you give details? Or you just sent him out to put hands on people? Did he know what stand up and be a leader meant? Had you ever given him details? What do step up and be a leader mean to a 17-year-old? Huh? Coach, I just want everybody to see, Coach, he says step up and be a leader. Maybe he interpreted that as beat her down if they under the tent. Right? Reckon that's what a bully, why would you let a bully have that type of control? Well, let's carry on. Coach.
Metcalf in a pool of blood. It was very emotional. And also having a conversation later that
He said step up and be a leader. Let's go.
it was very emotional. And also having a conversation later that morning with Carmelo Anthony. He says he put his arm around be a leader. Then he described seeing Metcalf in a pool of blood. It was very emotional. And also having a conversation later that morning with Carmelo Anthony. He says he put his arm around him and he told Anthony that he was genuinely upset. He said that he thought Anthony was genuinely upset about what happened in this case.
What morning?
Yeah, it was very emotional.
What morning? What morning? She's not clear on that.
He put his arm around him and he told Anthony that he was...
I want to make sure I hear this with my good ear. Are y'all spinning? Are y'all spinning?
With Carmelo Anthony. He says he put his arm around him and he told Anthony that he was genuinely upset. He said that he thought Anthony was genuinely upset about what happened in this case. So, Cynthia, it was very emotional this afternoon inside that courtroom.
Rebecca, I understand they showed video in court today of the incident. Can you describe what you saw?
Cynthia, the first expert was a video expert who enhanced some surveillance video from the track meet, but it was in a stadium across the way from where this happened. It was pretty far away. You couldn't see a lot of detail. You couldn't hear anything, and you really couldn't tell what was happening. But what both sides did agree on is that Carmelo Anthony was sitting under the tent. Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter walked up to him. There was some sort of words exchange, a confrontation. The expert witness testified that it was Austin Metcalf who first got physical with Carmelo Anthony. He reacted. Now, was it self-defense or was it murder? That's what the jury is going to have to decide, Cynthia.
Our thanks to you, Rebecca Lopez, live from the Collin County Courthouse tonight. And join us on WFAA Plus for our After the Trial special. Rebecca and Jobin Puniker will be joined by a legal expert breaking down each day of this trial. It airs each night at 8 p.m. on days both sides are in court. Plus is free.
What time? Oh, okay, let's see if they had that up. Let me see. Let's see what they say. I've gotten some very good intel, though. Very good. Hold on. Very good. Let me see what the legal expert said. Ha! Baby. Ooh wee, ooh wee.
Your GLP-1 medication costs 6 times more than it has to. Trim RX gets you a
You are watching day 3 of After the Hearing, a streaming show we have here on WFA Plus. We are doing special coverage of this track meet stabbing trial. Carmelo Anthony is charged
Let's
with
hear
murder
this, y'all.
in the death of Austin Metcalf. We are right here in front of the Collin County Courthouse. We have 2 people on the panel here talking through.
Self-defense
we have a lot
is
to
not a
talk
crime.
about. Let's start with Todd Shapiro. You've been a defense attorney for what, 26 years?
Yes, sir.
You've been on stateside as well?
Stateside as well, yep. 3 years in the Dallas DA's office, yes.
And we have Rebecca Lopez, covered every major trial for the last 25, 26 years, senior crime and justice reporter. We are a little tired. We're a little weary. And can you explain why we look the way we look? We've been up since when?
Yeah, so it's like 3 o'clock this morning because I've never been to a trial that I have covered where there is just so much interest that literally before the crack of dawn, there were probably 100 people lined up to get inside to try to snag 27 seats that were available to the public. And so if you didn't get here early, you were left out. And we kind of knew what was going to happen. So we got here early. We were some of the first 2 in line. So, but it was quite a scene out here this morning.
Just to set the stage, there is a curfew because of the security that's around this building. That curfew lifts at 5:45, which is the reason everybody's trying to get here at 5:30 to get in front of the doors to get one of those 27 public seats. As you're hearing about all of the rigmarole we got to go through to get inside, what are you thinking?
Well, I agree with Rebecca. I've been doing this a long time. This is my home county. I'm here, if not every day of the week, at least multiple days of the week, doing different cases, different business. Been practicing in front of Judge Roach since the day he got on the bench. Know Toby and Bill both extremely well. So I feel very familiar with what they're going through, but I will tell you, I have never, ever seen something like this that we witnessed today. Having to get to a courthouse, park at 5:30 in the morning, get in line at 5:45, go in at 7, wait another hour and a half until they finally let you in. And the security is strict. Judge Roach pulls no punches. He plays no games. He wants to get this trial tried, get it to the jury, and get on with it. There's not going to be a Judge Ito 6-month worth of OJ case. That's not what happens in Texas.
And they literally had people guarding, like they had deputies there to make sure that no one tried to cut in line. It's the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Well, I will say this, and I said it earlier as well. You will not find a better police force protecting the community in this courthouse than the Collin County Sheriff's Department anywhere in the country. They are professional, they're kind, they're thorough, they're prepared. They do an excellent job, and you could feel their presence in the courthouse today.
Yeah.
Rebecca, can you set the scene for us? Because there was a line outside the courthouse.
Right.
And then there's also another line in front of the
Joe.
courtroom. Tell us how many people were just on that second floor.
Yeah, on that second floor. Well, they said first 27 in line are the first 27 to get in. Stand here, do not move, because we're going to eventually come and bring you a pass. That pass will let you get in all day long. And then as we lined up to get in, they had the overflow people, and they lined them up across the hall, and I counted like 60, 70 people, and then more people kept coming and coming. And I was not sure why they were standing there, because they told them only 27 people are going to get in, but some people still waited
I don't
for
think
a long time.
I talked to some of them in line, and nobody really knew what was going on. They're like, we're not going to be able to get in. And they're like, no, you can stand out here in the hall and you can sit on the bench, and if there's ever an opening after a break, you can go in. Otherwise, tough luck.
And there were some people, like I had come out in the afternoon and I gave up my pass, and there's this lady, she's a court watcher, she was waiting, and she got in. So it paid off for her to stay, but a lot of other people just gave up and left.
We talked all day yesterday about the notion that there may not be African-American jurors in this trial. We wanted to wait until we actually saw the makeup of the jury, and I think we can safely say now there's nobody who at least self-identified on their bio form that they were African-American.
Correct.
But tell us about the makeup that you saw when you went in.
Well, I immediately wanted to take down, who the jury was, because we knew that there were probably not going to be any Black Americans on there, but we did see people from Asia, I believe, and there were women, a lot of women, and I felt like there are definitely people of color. I know that there was a Muslim woman on the jury, and again, when I talked about this yesterday, one of the questions that the defense asked was, how do you feel about the immigration policy? And I went back last night and made sure I double-checked what their answers were, and the majority of them definitely leaned towards the left a little bit, and that they were not in favor of how immigration and ICE is conducting business in America right now. I don't know what that says about the jury, but it was something that the defense wanted to take into account when they picked these jurors.
When we're looking at the breakdown, Todd, we have 11 women, 7 men. Just looking at that calculus, what are you thinking?
I don't put too much into the gender thing. I mean, I think that you get good and bad jurors that are both men and women. So I don't really characterize or generalize about one of them being better than the other. Again, I think they went through a very thorough process, and I want to make sure we understand that they didn't select the jurors. The jurors were not selected. The other people were kicked out.
Yeah.
So the 18 of them that are there were the first 18 eligible jurors after all the strikes were done. So juror number 1 could have been off, and the first juror could have been juror 27, or juror 35, and then it went all the way down to the back. So they didn't get to pick, hey, I like that guy a lot, I want him on my jury. It's, hey, I really don't like that guy, I'm getting rid of him.
And the judge can get rid of people too,
This is correct.
so we don't know how many strikes the judge used as well.
For sure.
So, Todd, we're hearing from the Black community who say this isn't a jury of Carmelo Anthony's peers. What do you tell? What do you tell?
I mean, I can understand their sentiment in that they think that a young African American male should have other African Americans helping to decide his fate in such a important case. But that's just not how our system works. They're not going to seat African Americans just because they're African American and the defendant is African American. So the process works. Jury selection in Texas works. It's the greatest judicial system in the history of the civilized world. Nowhere else do you get a chance to confront your accusers, plead not guilty, and demand a full jury trial just based on an accusation. So I believe in it, I trust in it, and I think they ended up getting 18 people that will do just fine.
And the defense and prosecution, at least the prosecution immediately said this is not about race. That was in their opening statement. And I think that they are trying to quell some of that by saying this is not about race. This is about whether or not somebody used self-defense or whether they committed murder. And the jury's going to decide that, and we're going to present the evidence. And you're going to decide this case on the law and on the evidence, not on everything that you hear outside. And then the defense said, look, there's been a lot of noise around this trial, and that's basically because, when we every day some protesters show up and they have been screaming at each other, but there's just very few. Honestly, there's not a whole lot compared to other places that I've been where there have been protesters, but they are making a lot of noise outside, and the jury's being brought through all of that. So
We've been talking about the makeup of the jury. Let's talk about the makeup of the courtroom. Who's in the courtroom? We're seeing both Metcalf family as well as the Anthony family, right? They each get a number of spots inside that courtroom, along with the 9 media, along with the 27 in the public. It is not a large courtroom to begin with, right?
Correct. I mean, there's a limited number of seats. Judge Roach was adamant, from what I was told, that he wanted to keep it in his courtroom. We do have a larger ceremonial courtroom in there that would probably fit 2 to 3 times more people. There could have been an overflow situation where they closed circuit TV the thing in, but again, Judge Roach is going to run this the way he sees fit. No one's going to tell him how to run his courtroom or his trial. And in my experience with him, it's always very fair and very efficient.
Austin Metcalf's mom and dad are in there. Carmelo Anthony's mom and dad are in there. Why isn't Hunter Metcalf, Austin's twin
because
brother,
he's going to be a witness in the case, 100%. And there's a rule in criminal cases, they make exceptions for a mother and a father of both the defendant and I'm assuming of a deceased, that they can stay in the courtroom and potentially still testify, like in the punishment phase if we get there. But I do believe Hunter will be a fact witness, they call, during their case in chief because of his close proximity to everything that happened. I was always under the belief that he had died in his brother's arms, but based on the testimony we heard today, it was the coaches that were trying to keep him alive. And I think that his brother, Hunter, was obviously in shock what he was looking at and seeing, and so they were doing all the work while he was standing by.
I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of times when we start trials, we don't know. Well, there's a lot of unknown factors. We learned this in the Tanner Horner trial where we had a lot of surprises. The prosecution got up there and said, "You're going to see a video, and this video is going to show you everything that happened." But you really couldn't see much on that video. You could kind of see it was so far away, and even the enhanced video, you couldn't tell. There was no audio. You couldn't tell what they said to one another. Was he threatened? Was he not threatened? What everyone agreed on, including the prosecution's witness, was that the person that first used force or was aggressive would have been Austin Metcalf. But now, again, does stabbing him in the heart justify what Carmelo Anthony did or what happened or what the argument between the two of them?
Let's talk about the opening statements. I'm going to read some of the most compelling things I heard from there, and I want you guys to discuss it. So, Bill Worski,
Yeah, it's interesting.
Said, "This is provoked, unjustified murder, and this killing is senseless." He's used those words, provoked, unjustified, multiple times in his opening statement.
Senseless. That was another word he used over and over. It's
Were they?
as I've said,
They
those
weren't
are
in
trouble
there.
words. So he has established.
Were
in his
they?
opening
Yeah, they were
statement
in
what
there,
the state's
right?
theme of the case is going to be, and those points will continue. To
Maybe
be
I need to
home
stop
with testimony
right
and
here.
Wrap it all.
Maybe because y'all know I'm not going to be able to do well with exaggerating and omitting the truth. Y'all know I ain't going to be able to do that. So shout out to Smash the Topic. He is the hood journalist in Dallas, Texas. Okay? Smash the Topic breaking news. Okay? So let me let y'all hear this.
That's where they were. One was going up and down.
Hold on. Let me start over. Oh, man, did I send this to myself? Let me send this to myself before, it. This man. Yeah, just let me send it to myself. I think that's the best route. So we don't miss nothing. Because he already talking, right? So let's go.
You seen the video, John, 2 hours.
Oh, come on.
You seen the video, John, 2 hours. Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy or what?
No, it was clear. It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is.
So they said it wasn't clear, right?
Them walking up. You see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dived in the rain or?
Yeah, it was still rain.
They act like they couldn't see it, right?
So, that day we were under.
I don't care nothing about Govan.
We were under thunderstorm warning.
I saw that. I don't care nothing about him. He's a
rained in and it started raining.
Janet.
And it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened.
He's a liar.
They were at a rain delay already. And so during that time, when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them. They were all coming from the direction of the middle school.
And they send that information
On the video, you can see those
that you
four
gave
actually
yesterday
involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with
was
them,
false.
enough, trying to catch up behind.
That was
One
another
veered off
play.
probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4
That,
came walking together. One went in front,
Yeah.
one went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Carmelo. If you're Carmelo,
And they showed it on that video.
it's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk
I'm going
up.
to say.
a lot of what he's always done is exaggerate. I'm talking about the other person. And and he's tied to negative 88. They saying, Keywan said that did not happen. There probably was a raid, but the people that they said that didn't happen. So, no.
You seen the video on 2 hours. Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy or what?
No, it was clear. It was clear. It's
It
clear
was
enough
clear.
where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You can see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain or?
Yeah, it was still raining. You know,
Right.
being from there, I'm from Louisville. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rained in, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already, and so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies,
One person though.
there was a few kids involved.
One person, and
They were all coming from
and he
the
picked it up.
direction of the middle school.
Right.
coming
So they
walking
was
back up.
probably working
On
together.
the video, you can see those four that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them skipping.
It's
up,
just
trying to
like-
catch up line. One veered off probably.
It's just like negative 88 was there. I did a little upload, and she was following Nick at night. But there was some confrontation. I don't know who, but she was there. And I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't ask him. I got $50 and I pay you if you just stay. I just need for you to act like da, so she can go viral. That's who we dealing with them two.
toward his way to go to the coach and
Okay.
kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other
Let me go out and come back
came
in.
walking together, one who went in front.
The coach. So did the coach? Is that when the coach told him to be a leader?
You seen the video on 2 hours. Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy or what?
No, it was clear. It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops.
They've been
come by.
lying all this
Okay.
time.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain or?
Yeah, it was still raining. You know,
Right.
being from there, I'm from Louisville. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rained in, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already, and so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them. They were all coming from the direction of the middle school,
Right.
coming walking back up.
Right.
I
On
remember.
the
I
video,
told
you can
y'all.
see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them.
They
skipping up,
jumped
trying
him.
to catch up line. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and
Okay.
kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went.
They jumped him. They jumped him.
And they surrounded Carmelo. You know, if you're
And
Carmelo,
they showed it on that video.
it's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk
I'm gonna
up.
say little
And
stuff.
I'll put
while
it
you
this
talking.
way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so,
So
it
they
was,
actually did jump him.
yeah,
They jumped him. Not he did. They jumped him. Not him and Hunter. Him and his boys.
wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin
All kind of
pushed,
things.
Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's
Carmelo-
more than the twins that got some licks
all
on them.
4.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle,
Okay.
and you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down.
Are y'all listening with y'all good ear?
Kind of pushing or whatever he was doing.
All day long, baby.
Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags,
The leader.
Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag,
Right.
and then later on he said that that
Hunter.
Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you don't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get into it here. But once they did that, they started hitting them. Carmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Wow.
When they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell, and that's when they realized he was gone. So they were still punching. And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him.
Self-defense, baby.
He went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing. But Carmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Carmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Carmelo's out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting with you. He whipped his head around, you see him on the video, and that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him
dying in his arms,
his heart, he never did that, because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him, and we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him, because it was unwanted. By your own definition in your word of him saying that, leave me alone, and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did.
So we heard that he pushed him and he bumped his head.
Not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it.
Oh, wow.
But the actual Collin County one, you can see the webs and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the webs under his neck. And
wow.
So that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
They put out his hair?
Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy?
So they jumped, they beat him up.
It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how I cleared it. You actually see them walking up. You see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still raining.
Shout out to Smash the Topic.
So, that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining.
Y'all like and share. People need to hear this.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already. And so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up.
Right.
Yep, they all junior high school coach.
And maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
Self-defense, baby.
Surrounded Carmelo. If you're Carmelo.
And they showed it on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk.
I'm gonna say little stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung.
Hold up.
So it's more than
Austin pushed Hunter. What?
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again,
Hunter, what?
Hunter and Austin
Hold
standing
on.
together,
Okay.
and you have the light bright boy here. And
Light bright.
You seen the video on 2 hours. Was it clear
Wait a minute,
enough, or
y'all.
was it
I gotta sit
fuzzy,
up.
or what?
no, it was clear. It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how I cleared it. You actually see
Never.
them walking.
And Hunter
You see that
should have been
Carmelo's
tried.
already
I
up
said
out
that a
there.
long time ago, Janet.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still raining.
Hey, Natural in New Orleans.
So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
Hunter should have been charged. I said that a long time ago.
It started raining again, then it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened.
Hunter got his brother killed.
They were at a rain delay already. And so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school,
Right.
coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind.
Why were they
One
not
veered off
charged?
Probably toward his way to go to the coach and
Okay.
kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Carmelo. You know, if you're Carmelo,
And they showed it on that video.
it's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk
I'm gonna
up.
say little
And
stuff.
I'll
but
put
while
it
you
this
talking,
way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you
He
have
was jumped
no
by 4 people.
way to be
4 boys.
confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so,
So
it
they
was,
actually did jump him.
yeah, it wasn't just no touch, it wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push, it was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at
Austin
the same time,
push,
so
Hunter
it's
hit.
one of the twins that got some licks
all
on.
4.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle,
Okay.
and you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where. That's
So
where
he
they
was
were.
jumped by
One
some
was going
brothers.
Up and down while they were talking, and kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said,
Hey,
that
Max.
I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that that Austin threw the bag.
Right.
Jeff also said the same thing.
He did.
And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just
Big
have a
pressure.
feeling that you're about to do something to me, and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so...
Hold on.
So at
Hold
that
on,
point, he
Preston.
still stood there and stopped there.
Hell
And whatever they
no.
said was
Hold
said,
on.
and you don't know that until they give you...
You just not getting in here,
But
Preston.
once they...
Preston, you just not getting in here. 200, both of them was 215 pounds, 6'1", 6'2". He is 5'8", 135 pounds. Let me start this over, and you tell me.
You seen?
See, this is why they never wanted anybody to see the video. This is why they had that funky altered video. Couldn't nobody see it. So they had to get a 4K expert to come in to dissect it. And the video that they had been altered. But listen, big pressure, hell no, it ain't off. Let's go.
Was it clear enough, or was it fuzzy, or what?
No, it was clear. It was clear enough.
It was clear.
Actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually
So they
see-
intentionally, MAGA, Trump world, intentionally set it up. Set it up. Alter videos. Haven't tried Hunter and the hold on. Let me play this,
them
man.
walking up. You see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Mind his business.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still right. You know,
Right.
being from there, I'm familiar with it. So
Minding his
that
business.
day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with. For the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already, and so during that time when that happened, the twins, their 2 buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids.
Few
involved.
buddies.
They were all coming from the direction of the middle school,
Right.
coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way.
And it was
to go
brothers.
to the coach, and
Okay.
kind of distract them a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went, and they surrounded Carmelo. You know, if you're
And
Carmelo,
they showed that on that video.
it's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk
I'm gonna
up.
say
And
little stuff.
I'll
while
put it
you
this way.
talking. Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so,
So
it
they
was,
actually did jump him.
yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that.
And it wasn't
Yeah,
just
was
one.
push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung.
Uh,
At the same time,
Everybody swung. Austin put hands on, pushed him. See, but this is what Austin was saying in the beginning. last year. Austin pushed. No. Hunter pushed. Austin hit. And then the other guys joined in. Why aren't the other 3 people? You see how? You see Trump? And then he had the nerve to have that Lane guy, Jack Lane, out there protesting with a bullhorn. 4 of them jumped him.
So it's more than the twins that got some licks
All
on.
4.
All 4.
It showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle,
Okay.
and you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember.
So
I
two
had to go back and
brothers.
think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
He did.
Right. And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonized. And we know under Texas
We've
law,
been saying
I
his
just have to
brother
fear
should have been
that you gotta
charged.
do something
But
to
we ain't
them,
know
and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so
we ain't know nothing about them 2 others. 2 brothers. One light skinned, one dark skinned. Where they at? See, they didn't want us to know nothing about that. They didn't want nobody to know that the video evidence that they had better phone footage. That's why it took the grand jury so long to come up with these charges. That's why with the opening statement that he lied and said that he had the knife, out in his hand. Lies. But hey, this Frisco. This is predominantly white. Then we have no no phones, no video, all of that type of stuff. Because y'all know his self-defense claim is legitimate. It was 4. Nobody has ever said it was 4. They gonna make me go.
you ain't touch him. But at that point, he still stood
So
there,
now-
out there, and whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get into it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Carmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was
Listen to
actually
this.
trying to get away the first time.
Listen, can you listen what you go there? Let's go. Cause he tried to get away before the knife even came out. Let's go.
Austin grabbed him, and you can
Look.
see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Okay.
And when they brought him back in, that's
So he tried to leave. Austin grabbed the bully, grabbed his shirt, and pulled him back in so that they could continue to jump him.
you see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell, and that's when they realized he was gone, because they were still punching.
They were still
And
punching.
when he fell, that's when
They were still punching. So he wasn't trying to aim for his heart and all that type of stuff. He was trying to poke to get these 215, 6'2", 6'1", 6'2" cat off him. Y'all, come on, man. So that's why they came in here. This is that Trump shit. This that MAGA shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's why when that Jack Lane or whatever his name is, when he was out there protesting on top of the Winnebago and this is back seat. They put us in the back of the bus. They are taking over. They're violent and abusive. And he got jumped by 4 cats, 2 white, and it sounded like 2 black. Big pressure, get your money ready. Cash App, if you don't have Cash App, go ahead and get it set up. Yeah, please, and thank you. Let's go.
When they all turned around, they started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him, and that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing him. But Carmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach.
So when they were saying earlier today, they said some boys was chasing him. Hey, me. Hey, Candy. So when they said earlier that some boys was chasing him, it was those Austin, not Hunter. No, hold on. Austin was running too, and that's when it collapsed. Let me hush. Yeah.
Coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Carmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Carmelo's out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting with you. He whipped his head around, you see him on the video, and that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart and
lies. I knew that was a lie.
Grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went.
I knew that was a lie.
Assault him, and we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him because it was unwanted. By your own definition in your word of him saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him. Period. But they did beat him, and if you look at the not the photo that Fox 4 put
it's
out,
self-defense all day.
that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual
Did y'all hear that?
Collin County one, you can see the whelps and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the whelps under his neck. And so that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
You seen the video?
Yeah, can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe that? Shout out to Kat. Smash the topic, y'all. I'm just blown away. So all the rest of this stuff, because earlier today, the brother earlier today, let me go to him before I go to where I was going, because he said that okay, I ain't gonna tell you, but he gave a very similar breakdown. However, he said that the first push, I think, pushed him down and he bumped his head. He bumped his head. Let me see. This is him.
No, it's edge control. Edge control.
He bumped his head. Real pressure. He ain't said nothing. He ain't said nothing. Yeah, hold on. Let me let y'all hear what he said earlier. Because, where's the one? Yeah, this is what we heard earlier.
And like, let me just stay with the Saturday thing. If they have...
Hold on. Y'all hear them locusts?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been here since yesterday. Peanut, I've been down here since...
My God, these people are devils. Yep.
2 o'clock yesterday. And I just been laying low, getting all my stuff ready.
Feet, I'm really gonna feel bad. Okay.
Things for me to stay. I'm gonna probably have to repeat this again because people.
It's gonna be a riot.
What's up? What's up?
Cause they never told you that there was 4 guys that jumped him.
To have court Saturday. I got here this morning and like, let me just stay with the Saturday thing. If they have, it's rumor. If they have court Saturday, I will be here Saturday until about 12 o'clock. So I'll stay for the first
And they
half
say
of
you can clearly see it.
For you. Now, today is the first day of the Carmelo Anthony murder trial. As you guys know, you guys been watching it and covered it, right? I got some information for y'all. Now, yesterday, The story came out where they're all white jurors, and you can take that for what you think it's going to be. Thank you. You can take it for what you, that's your opinion. But in my opinion, I'm gonna say that before I tell you what I saw today and I heard. You know what I'm saying? The white jurors, I don't think that makes a difference because it's a certain format they have to follow. And I think, honestly, the white jurors may be in the best interest for this case. A lot of people are not going to understand that. A lot of people are not going to feel that. But if you're in a courtroom, a lot of times you see, a lot of times, with a high-profile case like this and a lot of scrutiny, they are looking for jurors. Let's get this out first. They're looking for jurors with a certain type of mindset. That's why they ask, if you've been keeping up with the case, they ask certain questions where they're like, oh, well, how do you feel about, giving somebody time, if they're proven guilty and they're a kid? Like, they ask all these different questions.
And Pressure, you remember before? See, them people in Frisco knows that it was 4 guys on one. They know this. You understand? They also know that the kids couldn't say nothing. If they had video footage, you can't say nothing. Just shh was the word. So them people know that it was 4 against 1. They know that. They just didn't want us to know that. 4 against 1. He had bruises and shit all on his face. Yeah, no. They know it. That's why they set it up the way they set it up. But it's leaked. Well, no, it ain't even a leak. That other man was in there. He made it in there. He was one of the people that made it in there. Let me let y'all hear this. It's going to go down.
Choose who gives them the best chance of winning the case or losing the case.
He came in line.
You understand what I'm saying? They did have a 2-page questionnaire. Now, the reason why I'm out here, I was supposed to be in there, but the reason why I'm out here, check this out, guys. Court didn't start until 9. Cody told me Court TV would be here at 8. He tried to give me his number yesterday. I didn't get his number. Do you know there were people out here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they waited out here for nothing because inside the courtroom, I was up there, inside the courtroom, it's mainly friends and family. It's packed. The courtroom not that big, but it's bigger than the one from yesterday. It's packed. They only let 27 regular people in there. They're not live filming this. Court TV, they can't live film
No
it,
live coverage.
So they real secretive about
Oh, that's what I was going to say a while ago. If y'all remember, Pressure, you remember the last time, I know it's been months ago, my point I was trying to make was, when it first happened, since then, Frisco knows that it was 4 people. Because they not in here. They're not in here. You remember everything that was going on last time? They are not interested. Where they at? We had all type of rigmarole going on. He this, how can you say stand your ground and all of that? You don't remember that? Where they at? Where are they? Because they already know. Hello, the plus size queen. Yes, it was wild. It was wild. And I hate it's been a year ago because they was all in my comments, because I had to, hide some words. And baby, they was finding ways to come in to tell me that I this and I'm that and I'm a racist and I'm everything. And I just kept saying, stand your ground. Keep your hands to yourself. Where they at, y'all? Where they at? They're not here because they already know it was 4. It was 4. They quiet because the fix is already in. Okay, okay. I'm not going to do that with you. If that was the case, Pressure, then they would be in here rubbing it in that he is a killer. He is duh, you can't do this, you know, even though there was another case in Texas where he really got off. He was a Hispanic, but he had priors. Y'all remember that? And he intentionally went and bought the knife to bring to the school. Yeah, no. Baby, if they were so sure they would be in here rubbing it in my face as bad as they was going ham a year ago. But okay, it was a lot of people in here. Absolutely. It was just so overwhelming. Fighting and swinging. I mean, not literally. Yeah, where they at? I mean, it's some protesters out there. That's Trump and them people. But where they at? But carry on. Let me back it up.
Jurors, regular people in
And
there.
they made them all white.
They not live filming this for TV. They can't live.
They gonna win on
film it or
appeal.
nothing.
They gonna win on
real
appeal.
secretive about this situation. But I think those jurors, a lot of times you get these jurors, they gonna go in there, they gonna do what they told or whatever. They gonna be paying attention and all that type of stuff. I think it's gonna work in his favor. You know, a lot of people bring up the race and stuff, but I'm gonna tell you something.
A lot of them married to black
Yesterday,
people.
It was confirmed he's in there for first-degree murder. I think he gonna beat that, y'all. If you know the statutes on first and second-degree murder and third-degree murder, if your state has that, he gonna beat that, in my opinion. I'd be shocked if they get. I was just thinking about that last night.
Hey,
and
Monty.
check this out. Yeah, they only allow family and a
Hey,
handful
me.
of media and
They
regular
may
citizens.
actually
Some of
have
the media couldn't get in.
You know, once
You
they
look back,
listen,
and-
once they see that it was 4 people, 4 dudes, Austin and Hunter are both 6'1", 6'2", 215 pounds, and this young man here is a 135 pounds, 5'8". This young man is a little taller than me. 135 pounds. Come on, man. Come on. And then they gonna see that there was 2 other cats. Hunter needs to be brought up on charges. Hunter pushed him first. Then Austin hit him. They wasn't sitting down. No. Hunter lied. And we knew Hunter was lying. We knew Hunter was lying. But as I said, Hunter got his brother killed. Bottom line. Should have minded his own business. And why did they single him out? Why did 4 people have to? I mean, did the black boys have some issues with him prior? I don't know. We didn't know it was 4 of them, though.
And see, behind me, you see these media people right here? That's just a handful. Over there is media people that brought their cars up here. Not all the media can get in there. But it's not a big thing because the media can't get nothing until, you know what I'm saying, come out anyway. So some people got media. So what happens in cases like this, from my experience of doing these court cases and going different places and seeing it, when the media come out, they get swarmed by other media. Hey, what happened? And they share the information. But, you know,
I like 10 ham.
10. Let me get off the jury for a second. The first degree murder thing, right? It has to show intent, like he premeditated.
He didn't.
Killed this guy, which is not true.
It's
I
not
know
true.
that for a fact that's not true. Now check this out.
Thank you, Monty.
I was saying the self-defense thing. I'm out here sweating. I'm gonna stay out here as long as I can, y'all. It's hot.
It's hot.
The
You hear them
self-defense
locusts.
situation, right? I want you to listen to me. When I was in line, you know, like people come up to you, I didn't think people recognized me without the hat on. I thought that was my disguise, not having a hat, but people recognize me. Behind me, I was in line. I mean, the line was like a city block long. I was halfway in the middle of it. Behind me, and I want you to hear this. Behind me
with your good ear.
was 2 teachers from Carmelo Anthony's school. Well,
I didn't hear that.
Knows him. They came to show support. And the other guy was one of the people that viewed the tape. Well, they both viewed the tape from the ISD film where all of the people in the ISD was watching the film together. He said, the film that you see, the video you saw, is not the same. It's the same video, but it's just one of many videos. He said the best video, he said you could, because he was whispering because he didn't want people to see. He said you can see, you know, you could see it close enough to tell who was who. And he said it was real quick. He said it was real quick. But this is the part that's crazy. Listen to this. This is what he said. And this is just alleged. And I'm just going by what he said because we're not in there to see it. Now, I'll be up here early tomorrow morning like a groupie to see if I can get in there. But I mean, so will everybody else. We'll see. But he said the way they painted it and the way like the brother and
Fox News, Trump News,
friends of Austin Metcalf, said Carmelo, it was raining. Carmelo Anthony got up under the tent. He was right on the corner, just getting out of the rain. He said they all got up. They said it was between 4 to 5 people. This is what he said. He says like 4 or 5 people.
Two different guys.
He said they got up and walked right over there to him. Now they on bleachers. And they said, he said they half circled him. So you know what that means. He said the kid was just sitting down. He said he was sitting down and they walked up to him. He saw him walking, he looked, and they half circled him. So Austin Metcalf and whoever was half circled him. Now the brother said he was there, but according to the reports, he didn't see the stabbing. I don't know if he's lying or not. I don't see your brother getting up to go do some conflict.
Y'all was in front of him. You know what happened.
You see what I'm saying? So anyway, they're saying that they half circled Carmelo. And he said Carmelo was sitting there, and he said they pushed Carmelo, right? He fell back and hit his head. He said they got into it a little bit.
He fell back and hit his head. And that's when they got on top again and jumped him. Let's go.
He said it was quick. You could see him getting into it. And he said that's when Carmelo. And he said Carmelo was sitting there, and he said they pushed Carmelo, right? He fell back and hit his head. He said they got into it a little bit. He said it was quick. You could see him getting into it. And he said that's when Carmelo was like, pulled it, he act like he had something in his bag. He said, touch me again and see what happens. That's according to what the guy told me. And he was there. He showed me his ID because I said, yo, you can validate who you are. I guess he got upset about that. And he showed me his tape. He said, yo, I seen the tape. But if that's the case, and he said he was in fear for his life, who the fuck want to get jumped? And then another thing is this. If somebody say, touch me and see what happened, why the fuck are you going to touch him? You know why? Because it's more of y'all than him.
Right.
And it's bravado shit, and everybody want to act tough. Of course, they got their boys there. Now it's a standoff because you issued a threat. Get the fuck out of here, whatever. And then motherfucker says, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, either way, man.
Do it make a little more sense now? Man. I mean, because he added a little more than the other guy. But yeah, that's why he said, back up. And he still can't because it was 4 to 5 of them. But when it came to hitting, it was only 4. Yeah. Somebody in there have a black husband. Somebody in there mixed. It's gonna be a big old riot. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's gonna be ugly. That's why they have all these precautions.
Bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And somebody got fucked up. But I mean, regardless of the race,
They even showed the twins
who gives a
with
fuck?
their
I mean, this
guns.
is like a
That
man
could have
type thing.
been
You know how men is, and then my thing is
that could
this:
have
he's a
been
young man.
AI.
So I'm 53. The way I would handle a situation if I get half circled with men is different than somebody 18. You know, I live my life. I've been out here, I've seen things, been around things. I just don't, man, if that is what they saying, the video shows it. They show
Yeah, when
that
he went
video,
hunting, yes,
you know what
we
I'm saying?
said that day.
Modern food science has literally created thousands
Yeah,
of
he was
artificial
lying.
chemical ingredients that never existed
I
before.
I never
These
let up
ingredients
off
end
of
up in our
Austin.
food.
He initiated it. Well, based on the story that they said a long time ago, but now it's even more intense. They had backup. One light skin, one dark skin. Wow. Wow. Let's go.
I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
They did this for the
I mean, you got a
Metcalf
right to
daddy,
defend yourself.
just to
And
see
you know, you
if
got
it works
multiple
in their
people
favor.
on
They
it. But
tried.
they said it when he put it down. He got up and he was trying to back up out the tent. He said that's when they grabbed him and pulled him back, and he said that's when he think he stabbed him. Man, it's look, if somebody reach in their bag and say touch me again and see what happened, why would you touch him? Because I think you felt as though you had the upper hand because you had a lot of people there with you, and you had to show out after talking. I mean, it's one of them things. I just think, I mean, if that's the case, I don't see he got a chance of beating this. I don't see first-degree murder. I don't. Especially if somebody backs
And it wasn't premeditated.
and you put your hands on. Now, you know the self-defense law is where they say, oh, well.
And you put your hand on him.
Why didn't you just walk away? You can't walk away when people half circle you and like, what, you going to turn your back
Oh,
on
no.
people that are coming?
He couldn't walk away. Remember? He was trying to get out. And Austin grabbed his shirt and pulled him back in. They said you can see that on the video. You can see his shirt, his sweatshirt being pulled. So even when he tried to leave, they said, oh, no. And bring that ass here. Bring that ass here. Yeah. So all that he could have left, and he came with a, he didn't have, they threw his bag chunked that bag at him. Gave him his weapon that was in the bag, minding his own business. And it was 4, well, it really was 5, but 1 left to go get the coach. But 4 of them put hands, feet, toes, and everything on him. They put hand, feet, and toes. They won't see Frisco ISD. You know, they really didn't want people to see the video. Some tech support kind of made it grainy, grimy. You know, you really can't see. It's from a distance. You know, if you get caught showing video, you're gonna be suspended and won't be able to graduate. Yeah, they knew what happened. Yeah, they already know what happened. And they never one time said it was 4 of them. Because there was already a stand your ground law in effect because he pushed him. They made it seem like everything was just a push. No swinging. Yeah, but I knew his face looked a little, you know. Yeah, I didn't know that he had bruises on his nose. Man, they could have had cleats on. Oh, man. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Let's go.
Aggressive type of formation and posture. Why does it take 5 people to tell somebody they don't belong in the tent, or 4 people? You understand what I'm saying?
I heard this earlier. I missed all of this.
He said that's when they grabbed him and pulled him back, and he said that's when he think he stabbed him. Man, it's look, If somebody reach in their bag and say, touch me again and see what happened, why would you touch him? Because I think you felt as though you had the upper hand because you had a lot of people there with you and you had to show out after talking. I mean, it's one of them things. I just think, I mean, if that's the case, I don't see he got a chance of beating this. I don't see first-degree murder. I don't.
It's not
Especially if somebody
first-degree
backs
murder.
away from you and you put your hands on him. Now, you know, the self-defense law is where they say, oh, well, why didn't you just walk away? You can't walk away when people half circle you and like, what are you going to turn your back on people that are coming to you with aggressive type of formation and posture? Why does it take 5 people to tell somebody they don't belong under the tent, or 4 people? You understand what I'm saying? I think it was some tough guy acting shit. It's more of us than you. Who are you? You got to get the fuck out of here. It is what it is.
Hey, Lawrence. And the coach, whether you missed the pressure, the coach told Austin to, what did he call? He told him to be a leader. The coach texted him before this happened and told him to be a leader. So was you telling him to be a leader and go and get him from up under that tent? Coach texted him before this happened and said, be a leader. Now, why did you need to tell Austin to be a leader? What does that mean? On the football field? I mean, why did you text him right before and tell him to be a leader? Let me finish here. Let me go someplace else. Let me finish this.
They said he ran, but see, the thing is this. If they half circled him and pushed him down, and why would you stay there? Another thing is like they saying, oh, well, you know, self-defense. I mean, come on, you got to really look at this for what it is. You stab somebody and you got 4 other friends there, I don't know anybody gonna stand there. I mean, even if, you know, it's more people than anybody gonna stand there. Now they're gonna use that and say, oh, well, he ran and this and that. A lot of times, they would say, oh, well, why didn't you walk away? Sometimes you can't turn your back on people when they come up on you and get around you. You ain't gonna turn your back. This ain't fucking pro wrestling when you turn around and then somebody...
Okay, hold on, y'all. I gotta go. Oh, girl. I was trying to find his other video, but... Hold on. Hold on. Oh, bombshell evidence explodes. God dang. Oh, man. Hold on, y'all.
If you ever wanted to start your own clothing brand, but you didn't want to buy
a deadly confrontation.
I want this one. Cause she live right now. Negative 88 was following her earlier. Shit.
And then they selected the jury. And I did a complete breakdown on the that are looking at me up and down, sideways, every which way. And I see them having conversations with her. And then I see them come look at me and look me up and down and try to do the intimidation thing. I already see that and said, oh, there was even a line and it's all this, you know, police force or whatever. So I was just like, and I realized that there's this woman that has been rage baiting online. She gets behind them. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. It's barely 5:58. Like, what's happening?
Let me just start from the beginning.
If you violate that 6-8 very dramatic 911 call that had Austin Metcalf's family just bawling. It was so many different moments that happened. All right.
Y'all hit the like button. Shout out to Nick and Night.
You're tuned in to Nick at Night. And tonight it was today it was a very, very explosive day in court for Carmelo Anthony.
Y'all up for this?
We were able to hear the opening statements. We got to see the surveillance of the incident that happened. We also heard a very very
You're
dramatic
welcome, Naturally Noise.
911 call that had Austin Metcalf's family just bawling. It was so many different moments that happened today. I had to literally decompress after court. So I apologize that it is so late after court that I'm finally sitting down and doing my breakdown, but it was just so much to process today. Mentally, I was just like, you know what? I need to take a few hours for myself and just
Y'all,
truly
please hit the like
decompress
button.
and process everything that I've heard, everything that I've seen, all of the different energies, all of those things. I just took a drive and I just was driving around and around and around and around and around. So it was a lot, but let's get into it. Let's get going. I have a lot of notes. Today was the official kickoff of the trial. Now, trial started on June 1st, which was Monday. Today is Thursday, June 4th, and today we actually got to hear the opening statement. And we got to hear from several different witnesses. We got to hear from a video analyst. We got to hear from several of the different coaches that were at the track meet. We also, as I stated, heard the dramatic 911 call where you can hear the life-saving measures that the people at the track meet were trying to do for Austin Metcalf. It was a lot going on. But first and foremost, we're going to start and bring it from the top. Now, as you guys know, or some of you guys may not know, in this trial, there is a very strict gag order, okay? There was a very strict gag order put in place, and the judge had put in this order and stated that anybody who comes to the courthouse, there will be a curfew. The curfew is to be at 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. If you violate that 6 a.m. curfew, you will be banned and not allowed to attend the trial. So every single morning, I have been vigilant of following this curfew. Today was no different. So I'm expecting, because every time that I hear that, like other people who arrive earlier
Okay.
than 6, I've been hearing that the sheriff's office has been turning them away and telling them they have to leave the parking lot until 6 a.m. And prior to today, people have not been able to enter into the parking lot before 6. So everybody has been trying to like follow the rules and stuff like that. This morning, I get off the freeway. It is 5:50, around a little barely past 5:50. And my uncle's following me, and I'm like, hey, let's drive a couple of laps up and down the street so that we don't violate the court order, right? So we drive up the street, down the street, up the street, and then come back down. And by that time, it's time for us to enter into the parking lot. I'm like, it's 5:58, so hopefully they don't ban me for 2 minutes. I drive in the parking lot at 5:58, and when I drive in the parking lot, I park my car, I look at the line, and there's literally 25 people in the front of the steps of the courthouse already lined up, not just now getting out of their car, already out of their car and in line. So when I walk up and I'm walking up and I see all of these people like in the line, I'm like, wait, like, how are all of y'all already in line when it's just like, it's not even 6 o'clock yet, it's barely 5:58, like, what's happening? Like, I start to panic because none of, like, if you follow the orders, how is this line here? Like, they weren't walking to the line. They weren't walking to the court steps. They were already in line. So I see that there is about 15 white women, and it was like 15 white women, 2 teenagers that they had with them, and right in front of them was some of the bloggers that I, am familiar with. I see Gerald from the North Carolina Beat, and I walked up to Gerald, not to cut anybody, but just to ask, like, wait a minute, like, how are all of y'all already in line? Like, what's going on? Immediately when I go to ask him a question, there was a white woman like right behind him. She's like, security, security. I said, chill, baby. Like, relax. I'm not cutting. I'm just trying to understand how all of you guys are lined up and it's 5:58. And the courthouse is not supposed to be open until 6 a.m. Like, how is it 20 of y'all, like, not walking to the line, but already in line? I said, you got it. Chill, baby. I'm getting in line. Don't worry. Like, I don't need to cut you. I'm just curious. So I get in line, and there was a black girl. There was one black girl in front of me, and then there was 15 white women, and it was like 10 or 15 white women. They had 2 teenage boys with them, and then before them were some other like bloggers. And there was like a legal expert it was like a white guy that was like a legal expert, etc. So I'm in line, my uncle gets behind me, and then behind him, there's another person. Then I realized that there's this woman that has been rage baiting online. She gets behind them. So I noticed her because I've been making sure that I stay clear of her because there has been some allegations that she's making about people that I've been at the courthouse that I don't feel happened. I didn't see it happen. I don't see when it could have happened. I don't believe that it happened. Not to say that it didn't happen at all. I don't believe it happened. It could have happened. I just don't see how when every time I look that way, nobody was over there bothering that girl or by that girl or saying anything to her. So it's like, when did this happen? I don't know. So I've been very intentional about, like, if she's in the bathroom or if she's like in a place where, an allegation can be made, I prefer to just remove myself and not be somewhere where a lie can be made up. Anything that is said is going to be said where there can be witnesses. So, if she goes to the bathroom, I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm not going in the bathroom with you so that a whole story can be fabricated and then it could be, Carmelo Anthony supporter ambush me in the bathroom. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be nowhere where it's just me and her. Never. I'm also not saying anything to her. So I've been very intentional about that, but I am aware when she comes around because I try to make sure that I'm clear of her, being that I've seen the narratives that she's pushed out, that I don't feel like I can't verify. I'm not everywhere she is, but I don't believe them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that it didn't happen because I don't know. I'm not around her like that, but I don't believe it. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so I see that she's like 3 or 4 people behind me. There's a black girl in front of me, and there's 15 white women in front of her. So I'm like thinking in my head, I'm panicking because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm like starting to panic because I'm thinking like maybe I'm not gonna get in the courtroom. I'm like, oh my God, like it's all of these people. You got this big, large group of people. They're like, we're all together, And I'm like, chill out, baby. Y'all can be together. That's fine. And then, and then there's
just looking for a reason.
Independent media, etc. They're all in front. So I'm in my head like, oh my God, I might not get in. Woo. So
right.
as it gets closer
Black
to
husband,
7,
kids,
the line gets wrapped around like tons of people. Miss Jessica Parker and all of the other people were, way behind. But she knows.
Hey, Marie.
And everybody in that line, the 15 white women, the other people, they all know that I arrived way before her. That's not even refute. That's like an irrefutable fact. Like, you can't refute that. Like, it's too many witnesses, and if anybody says otherwise, they're a liar. You know what I mean?
Well, they will lie.
I don't put it past them because lies have been said. But hey, it is what it is. Anyways, so as it gets closer to 7, there's one black girl in front of me, and she was a hired line sitter for another blogger. So a blogger had paid her to hold her her place in line. So as it gets closer to 7, the other blogger comes
I wonder who that is.
up. She, thanks her line fitter. Her line fitter steps out of the line where all of the people in the front of us to the back of us, they see one girl gets out of line and leaves. The other girl takes her place in line. They see that, but they use that to lie. So again, we're waiting. We don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to make it in the courtroom. At that point, I don't know how many people they're going to let in or how that's going to play out. So we go through so they open the doors at 7. And as they open the doors, my uncle, like I said, my uncle's right behind me. And like they open the door and I'm just like, oh my God, I pray I get in. I hope I get in. I hope I get in. I hope I get in. Like, oh my God, I hope, like, I'm just like stressing, freaking out. Like, oh my God, I hope I get in. I hope I get in. So I walk in the door because there's like a sheriff, like there was like 2 sheriffs that were like there were sheriffs on the outside and then there were sheriffs on the inside of the courtroom. So, and it's all this, police force or whatever. So I just like got my bag and I'm like, oh my God, it's one of those, like, I'm walking, and then I make it in the courtroom and I'm like, and I look back and they stop my uncle and they close the door. And Miss Jessica Parker and all of these other people, they had to wait outside. So we go inside and they say, hey, you guys are the 27 public. And I was like, oh my God, I made it in? Wow. So I was like, whew, I made it in, but I felt sad because my uncle had to just wait outside for me, like that. I get in, I get a badge, I go into the courtroom. I'm in there, and after lunch, somebody comes up to me, and they're like, hey, Miss Parker is telling the sheriff that you cut in front of her. You and another black woman cut in front of her in the line. Mind you, before there was even a line, before the line sitter swapped out, Miss Ma'am saw me and she saw that I was there way before her. Like when she walked up the steps and walked in, I was in line planted. So they come to me and they're like, hey, I don't know if you know, but Miss Parker done told I overheard her telling the sheriffs that you and another woman cut her in line, and you guys were the reason that she didn't get in the courtroom, and if it wasn't for you, you guys, that she would have got in. First of all, that's a lie. That's also dangerous, and that's just totally,
they was clowning.
Like, that is like beyond dishonest. Then went on the platform and said, oh, Carmelo Anthony supporters were cutting the line and I couldn't get in, and peddling this false narrative, right? And trying to make it seem that way. You know what I mean? That type of stuff I feel like is dangerous because for me, run the tape. Run the footage. I did not cut a soul. I did attempt to ask Gerald, hey, how are y'all already lined up? A girl who was, I don't know if she was a part of Metcalf's family, but that's what other people were saying, that the group of 15 were his family. And, which, whatever. But I'm like, child, and the way that also works is each family gets 10 seats. So the victim family, Austin, the victim, his family gets 10 guaranteed seats. Carmelo's family also gets 10 guaranteed seats. But outside of the guaranteed seats, the white women that were in line, they were in the public line. So that wasn't the guaranteed family seats. That was the they're here to support whatever like that. But if we're going to be honest and say, you know, oh, these people showed up at 5, or tell the truth.
I'm so disappointed in
Don't
what
try to
person.
shape everything as a Carmelo
Hey,
Anthony
Jerry.
supporter. My thing is this: if we're going to label ourselves as journalists, tell the truth. It was 15 white women in front of me. They damn for sure wasn't Carmelo Anthony supporters. They were consoling. They were crying in the courtroom. They were consoling the family. They were with the family, and all of them were before me. And they were in the public line, not the family guarantee pass line. So that's my only thing, is when it comes to certain narratives, I don't like to get it with the whole beefing with bloggers. And, you know, certain bloggers try to make themselves be the story or try to make themselves be the victim because, you know, that's the highest currency these
I
days.
wonder if she talking
Being
about
a
negative
victim
88,
is the
because she was
highest
definitely behind them.
currency grift online, period. And even one of her supporters, or maybe I don't know if it was her on a burner account or one of her supporters, hey, why is it that you won't go into the bathroom with her? Because I won't put myself in that type of situation. I refuse to put myself in that predicament. I already have men who I never did not one thing to them. I don't know them. I did not cover this case before the trial started. That are looking at me up and down, sideways, every which way, and I see them having conversations with her, and then I see them come look at me and look me up and down and try to do this intimidation thing. I already see that
And she
play,
talking about
and
negative
I already
88.
see the angle, right? This is the angle, and this is for all of my black people. There was so many of you guys who saw me in line and watched my content and were in line and were waving. This is, don't fall into the trap. The trap
As
is
rich gangster
talk as
rapper
much
get more
crap
support
online
than a
so
kid who
that
made a
we
bad
can
decision.
respond in person to her, and so she can.
Okay, Pressure, what would you do at 5, 200 and
at
something,
that trial,
215?
not
Pressure, you kill
her
me.
that.
What would you? You say a bad decision. He was being attacked by 4 to 5 guys. Them twins were 215 pounds each. He was 135. And then now we find out it was 2 more guys hitting him. So it was 4 to 5 on 1. What's the bad decision? Take this. He left with bruises, nose cracked and shit. We didn't know nothing about that. What was he supposed to do? Take that ass whipping? Shit. Not in Texas. No, it's self-defense. You killing me. It went from 2, well, it went from 1. Cause Hunter said he didn't do nothing. And I knew that was a lie. Now it was 5 of them. One kind of, blocked it, so that they could get their ass beaten on. He tried to leave, and they yanked him back in to the fight. Man, y'all kill me. Y'all kill me.
Griff, like let it just be made up, right? Don't fall into the trap. Like,
I'm getting there.
She had a token black girl with her that was looking at me a certain particular way, and
Yeah, I hope this is not 88, because I'm gonna wear her out.
Please stay over there and be the token. Okay? Be the token. Be over there. Even her.
Let me.
But anyways, enough about that. I just wanted to clear that up. I'm not going to make her a regular topic over here. That's probably the final time that I'm going to address her.
But she went out there. Listen, let me tell you what that's about. To me.
I will not be entertaining it further.
This is the same thing that her co-worker did to Tisa Tales in the Diddy trial. Trying to start stuff. If you're going out there to a protest and you're getting active the same bull crap you do on YouTube, then she should have stayed at home. Yeah, no, so miss me with that. At least she went out there on bullshit though. For clicks and for views. No, man, please. And then she'll make a dumb decision and you'll say, but no, but she at least she went out there. But starting shit, yeah, pressure. You listen, dude. No, it's okay. You talking about at least? Well, at least he got 5 niggas up off of him. Y'all kill me. Get up out her ass. I'm trying to listen to something. She did this. This is the same thing Ratchet did with Tisa Tales. She said when she recognized her. Yeah. No.
Will not say anything to her in public. I will not be like, you know what I mean? I can't help like if we're like, okay? Be the
that ghetto
was looking at me a certain
dumbass token.
Anybody at that trial, do not give her that grift. Like let it just be made up, right? Don't fall into the trap. Like she had a token black girl
you can say that because that's his. That's where he lived. He lived in Frisco.
And I, girl, I'm not saying nothing to you. Please stay over there and be the token. Okay? Be the token. Be over there. Even her. Like. But anyways, enough about that. I just wanted to clear that up. I'm not going to make
interested.
Her a regular topic over here. That's probably the final time that I'm going to address her. But I feel like it was necessary to be.
I'm almost there.
Be entertaining it further. I will not say anything to her in public. I will not be like, you know what I mean? I can't help like if we're lined up or whatever. But I will not say a soul to her.
She wasn't even out there dressed appropriately to go into court like that.
That's how the morning went. I was lied on, and I was lied on to the sheriffs, which is completely fabricated. Also, here is a video that shows that there were people who were not, and this is my problem with it too, is that I'm coming there to cover the trial like I cover any other trial. When I went to cover the Diddy trial, I was not no Diddy supporter. When I covered the Tory Lanez trial, I damn sure to show was not on Team Tory, even though I like his music. And I went there like, damn, who's telling the truth? And I was a fan of Tory's music. I was not Team Tory in the trial. I based the things off of the facts, right? The thing about this trial is any person that has black skin is labeled Carmelo Anthony
that's
supporter.
The issue.
So if you're covering the trial or you're going up there as an observer, even if you don't know Carmelo Anthony, even if you just there to be a unbiased observer, if you have black skin, you will be lumped into, you're automatically a Carmelo Anthony supporter. So just be mindful that anything that you do is a reflection of him, because it's being painted that way, right? So let's let this young man have a fair trial. There's a victim in the case that, we have to find out what the facts are. And he has a family. Austin has his family that's hurting right now. And we don't need to add any more confusion to it. I saw the pain in Austin's family today.
That's them Trump supporters. I'm gonna tell you that now.
They were bawling their eyes out when it came to listening to the 911 call, listening to the evidence, hearing some of the facts, hearing the witnesses on the stand. Like, they're hurting. So I would not want to add more confusion on either family side. We need to go in there, listen to the case, stay as far away from Miss Parker as possible, okay? And be mindful that anything you do, even if I don't know Carmelo Anthony, I don't know his mama, I don't know his family, I ain't never reached out to them for no interview, I ain't never talked to none of the activists that they have, I've never interviewed any of them. You know, even though I don't have any connection to them, I'm labeled as, you know what I
You're
mean?
respectful.
A
You are very respectful. We
Carmelo
appreciate
Anthony
that.
supporter or whatever like that. So anything that you guys do, just know that it's a reflection of them. So be mindful if you're coming up there, that let's just, you know, go up there, follow the rules, be mindful, and observe and see what the facts are. Today there was a lot of facts that came out, and we're gonna go over them in this live. So with that long intro being said, and we're gonna pay her dust going forward, um, let's get into what you guys came here for. So, we heard the opening statements for the prosecution and the defense. So, the first 2 days, that was Monday and Wednesday, was basically voir dire. So, the first day of the trial, where they were just introducing the
Thank
jury and
you.
trying to probe the importance of being a jury member.
I greatly
What is their
appreciate it.
knowledge
Hey,
of the reason
Pamela.
why a jury is so important? And they were probing stuff like that. On Wednesday, when we came back, they selected the jury and they got more personal questions on their feelings of, you know, like self-defense, and what do they feel about somebody that's young that commits a crime, and can you impose a certain particular sentence, and, you know, all of those things like that. Um, and then they selected the jury, and I did a complete breakdown on the selection process of the jury. If you guys are interested in all of the questions that they asked, all of the different things, them striking the black jurors, the defense contesting that, and trying to fight for the black jurors to still be on the case, all of those things is detailed in another live. Now, this live, we're going to go over everything that was stated today. It might be a lengthy live because I have so much to go through.
Oh,
but
wow.
hey, it is what it is. I got to be up early, but I got to give y'all the information. So,
Y'all up for this?
when we get in there, they have, they introduce the state and the defense. So, on the prosecution side, it was a guy by the name of Bill Worski and Dewey Mitchell. On the defense side, it's Mike Howard, and I didn't hear the first name, but it was something Should. Then the prosecution offered state's exhibit number 1. And then the judge, he granted all of the pretrial motions that the defense had put in. The jury, he announced that it was going to be 20 minutes each for opening statements. And then the jury got sworn in. When I watched the jury get sworn in, I noticed that it's not an all-white jury. Even though there's not all black people, it's not an all-white jury. You get what I'm saying? Like, there are, I seen some Asian and some Indian, and then the rest were white. Now, what I also found interesting about the jury is that they, like, normally when I've been covering the trials, a lot of trials that I cover, a large amount of the jury is older people, right? Well, in this case, a large amount of the jury is younger people. So I was looking at the jury and I'm like, oh wow, they have people on the jury that if I didn't know Austin or never heard, like, you know, like look like they can, not that they could be related, but look like they can have a
Where's
similar.
Jasmine Crockett and Al
They don't look
Green?
like them, but
They got
look
stuff
like
going
they
on with
can
Trump in
be like
Congress.
familiar, like not
They got
related,
hearings and
but
stuff in
like
Congress
in
with
the same
Trump
type
administration.
of, what's the word?
They got other stuff going on.
Like they could see themselves in
No
them,
Hunter
if that makes sense.
doing
Does that make
everything.
sense? Like I looked at some of them on the jury, and I
I
thought to
would
myself,
do if
I wonder
I
if they
started
see
a
themselves in
no
the
Hunter
victim.
doing everything,
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
and his
They
brother
don't
like.
look like him,
I said
but
that
like
a year ago.
relate to him. Yeah, there we go. Like
They didn't
relate
like
to
that I
them. Like
said
they
Hunter
look
got
like
his brother killed and he
they
should be brought
can
up on
relate
charges.
to the victim.
The people that was
So
here
that's what
didn't
I'm
like
saying.
that.
Like,
They thought that I was
so
being
there
insensitive,
was
but
a
that's the
lot
truth.
of jurors that were younger.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
5 people.
and so
4
there
of them
was a
was hitting
few
it. Oh,
older
very low.
jurors, but
Hold
there was a
on.
lot that looked younger. Right? Got it.
Hold on.
So, anyways, all right. So moving on.
Hold
So,
on. Let me pause y'all because I'm almost out of
so
juice.
they
Hold
started
on.
out the.
Hold on. I don't want to. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Let me get it situated. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm back. What is going on over? Oh, I'm on it. Hold on.
Morning by reading. There we go. Like relate to them. Like they look like they can relate to the victim. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so there was a lot of
Oh, wow.
like
We ain't gonna never always do stuff right. But
they
they.
could see themselves in them, if that makes sense.
Hi,
Does that make
Bonnie.
sense? Like I looked at some of them on the jury, and I thought to myself, I wonder if they see themselves in the victim. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? They
Yeah.
don't look like him, but like relate to him. Yeah, there we go. Like relate to them. Like they look like they can relate to the victim. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so there was a lot of jurors that were younger. Okay, and so there was a few older jurors, but there was a lot that looked younger. Right? Got it. So, anyways, all right. So moving on. So they started out the morning by reading out the official indictment. So Bill Worski was the one to read out the indictment, and he basically read it out and told them that they believe that Carmelo did intentionally and knowingly kill Austin Metcalf with the intent to cause immense bodily harm. Now, it said a lot more, but I was just getting situated into my groove of writing, and I didn't write the full indictment, but I think I do have a copy
There's
of the
no way
indictment. Let
he
me
could
see
say
if
that
I can
it was
pull it
intentional.
up for you
And you fighting
guys.
4 guys.
Or, I mean, let me know if you guys are interested in the full indictment. It's
You
not a
trying to
lot
get
that's like
somebody up
on the
off you.
indictment, but they read out the indictment, and then the judge wanted to know, how does Carmelo Anthony plead? So Carmelo Anthony stood up and he says, how do you plead? And he says, not guilty. So then it was time for opening statements, and the counsel on the prosecution side, Bill Worski, he did the opening statement. So yesterday we heard a lot from Dewey Mitchell when he was doing the voir dire, but today we heard more from like kind of both of them, but Bill Worski did the opening statement. So he said, we are all here this morning, Wednesday, April 2nd, because I guess Carmelo Anthony decided to take a knife to a track meet and provoke a young man into
Provoke.
touching him. He took a hidden knife into his chest, and Austin died because this man did an unjustified, unprovoked murder. This case has nothing to do with
Race.
Oh, this case has nothing to do with race. This case has nothing to do with self-defense.
Shit.
He launched a sneak surprise attack into Austin after goading him into a fight. Facts of this case are simple. Murder was simply senseless. You are going to hear more. You are going to see the surveillance video. That video shows the story. After he slipped into the tent, he wouldn't leave. Austin put his hands on Mello after he provoked him. He hit him with a knife. This was a provoked, unjustified murder. This is senseless. Let me reset. That morning,
Why have they
Frisco
never?
ISD, the track meet was set to begin. Austin was there with his brother, along with the other Centennial school for the track meet. Carmelo. Oh no. He was there with his brother, and then Carmelo was along with Centennial at the school for the track meet. The coach sent a text to Austin that he needed them to step up and help. The rain began to fall. Some teams went to the buses, some were on the field, some with their teams in the tent. 6 minutes in the murder, Austin
Right,
and his
Chris.
brother.
Right next to New Orleans. What is going on?
6 minutes before the murder, Austin and his brother entered the tent. You will see normal activity in the tent. 2 minutes after Austin enters, Carmelo is visible. He makes a beeline into the memorial tent. You will see more normal activity in the tent. The other kids ask, why was he there? They treat the tent like a locker room to protect valuables from theft. Austin steps up to tell him to leave. After several people told him to leave, Austin took the bait.
Several.
Okay?
He took the bait.
He's basically shaping it as like Austin was baited by Carmelo because Carmelo didn't listen to him when he said leave. So that was Carmelo baiting Austin into hitting him. So he said that, several people had told him to leave the tent. After several people told him to leave, Austin took the bait after he goaded him to hit him. He refused to leave and took his knife and plunged it into Austin. Then he runs and tries to blend in and slips out the gate. The kids, once they realized a stabbing, they ran. Once Austin realized he was stabbed, he lifts his shirt and shows he had been stabbed in the heart. The kids pointed Carmelo out right as he tried to leave. He told them, he touched me first, as if that justified the murder. He just committed. Officer Cortez heard the call of the stabbing. He runs, he hears the kids and activities. His body cam and police detain Austin. You will see body cam. Cortez puts him, they detain Carmelo. They put him in custody. Carmelo says, and when they put him in custody, one of the officers, they radioed and they said, we have the alleged suspect with us. And when they said, we have the alleged suspect with us, Carmelo says, I did it. I'm not alleged. You will hear him say, he touched me first. You will hear a lie. You will hear him tell a lie. He lies to Cortez and says, I told him not to. That's the lie. That tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. He tossed the knife immediately after and then tried to slip away from the scene. That lie is important. You will start to hear from the witnesses and see the video. This is murder and not self-defense. You can't provoke someone, then take their life. This case is murder, plain
He
and
didn't
simple,
touch him.
senseless. I expect you to follow the oath, follow the evidence, and find this man guilty. So that was the prosecution's opening statement. Now, when they are talking and doing the opening statements, they're talking very fast. I'm writing with a pen and a paper. I'm not able to use my laptop like the legacy media. And so I paraphrase what I can and I quote what I can. So this is like a summary of what he said, just to, it's not a factual transcript. This is just me writing down as much as I can catch while he's talking. Okay, so all of what I read is me scribbling. Like, I got a bunch of scribble scrabble of me trying to jot down as much as I can, as fast as I can, in the amount of time that I have to write. Okay. So with that being said, let's go to the defense. The defense does his opening statement, and he says, ladies, are there a lot of trolls? Hold on one second. Let me fix that.
Yep, it's a bunch of trolls over there,
Let me
baby.
fix it. Hold on.
Lord, where's my credit card?
All right. All right, so that should fix it, hopefully. I don't know. Anyways, all right, so ladies and gents, there has been a lot of noise around this case. This is Carmelo Anthony's defense. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a lot of noise around this case. You say you believe less than half of what you see in the media. A lot of stuff is false about this case. You will hear the actual evidence. A lot of noise about Carmelo and his family. He is a son, the oldest of four, and he graduated with a 3.7 GPA. He was a member of the chess team. He played track. He loved camping. There has been a lot of noise about his family. Well, and then he said, well, in both families. His mom is a nurse who gave up her career so that she can be a stay-at-home mom and take care of her children. His father was a finance manager for a car dealership, and they are originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They wanted to have a better life, so they moved here midway through his freshman year. Melo starts at Centennial his sophomore year, and he gets good grades. He played football, and his senior year, he was the captain of his team. In high school, he first started to get seizures, and he was diagnosed with having epilepsy. And he was able to contain it with medication. A little bit before that actual game that happened with Austin and this whole situation, he had an injury where he had to be out of the season for a few games. They said that his arm was in a sling, I guess, prior to that, and he had to go to physical therapy. The actual day of the track meet, he had a physical therapy session scheduled, but he decided to help the team out because it was a junior varsity track meet. He was on the varsity team, but he was helping out at the track meet. So he said that a few games into the season, he injured his arm or whatever, or he injured himself. April 2nd, 2025, he woke up late in a rush to get to the track meet. He got on the bus with his teammates. Melo was the varsity track kid. Most events that day were junior varsity, but he was scheduled to do long jump. He had a physical therapy appointment that day, but canceled to go to the track meet. It was raining on and off. It started raining hard, and then it stopped again. Some kids went to the bus. Some kids took cover under tents. A lot took cover under the bleachers. Every single school had a tent for the school to take cover under, except for Carmelo Anthony School Centennial. He said they only had a tarp. The evidence will show that morning Carmelo is in a normal mood with his friends. He helps out, and then he tries to get out of the rain and look for a place to get out of the rain. The camera is on the opposite side of the stadium, which is far. You will see video, but when zoomed in, it's blurry. You will see others had a tent but the first tent was jam-packed. He went past the tent and saw someone he knew, Edwin Park, the close family friend of Mello's girlfriend. So he identifies a black boy under the tent for the Memorial High School where Austin Metcalf and his brother goes to school. According to the defense, what they're saying is, hey, he recognized his girlfriend's family friend, which is a black boy. He recognizes him under the tent, and that's who he goes to chat with.
The other
It
school.
says he walks right
What's
up
the
to
end?
his buddy, and they
What's the
dap each
end,
other up
Christian?
and sit down and chat. Since them talking, government said multiple people told him to leave, but before that, multiple people said they were just talking. They were just fine. That went on until Hunter and Austin seen Carmelo. His friend Eddie was to his right. Hunter is in front. Austin was.
Yep, Baton Rouge.
I jotted down. He either said Austin was to the right or Hunter was to the right of Mello. But anyways, he said the Memorial kids estimate that it was about 20 kids under the tent. All the kids went to Memorial except for Carmelo. Everybody under that tent is a teammate and a friend to Austin, so keep that in mind. Keep an open mind until you hear both sides. He then said Carmelo Anthony is about 5'8", 130 to 135-ish pounds. He said Austin and his brother is around 6'1" and 213 to 215 pounds. He said they were both significantly heavier and bigger than Carmelo. They were about 83 pounds heavier than Melo when they confront Buddy, and they dap each other up and sit down and chat.
I want y'all to hear that with your good ear.
Them talking, government said multiple people told
YouTube
him
does.
to leave,
What was the
but
end?
before that, multiple people said
YouTube is automatically will do it if it's bad. And I only saw that end that I just. Come on. Am I on it? Hold on. Why is it not playing?
they were just talking. They were just fine. That went on until Hunter and Austin seen Carmelo. His friend Eddie was to his right. Hunter is in front. Austin was. I jotted down. He either said Austin was to the right or Hunter was to the right of Mello. But anyways, he said the Memorial kids estimate that it was about 20 kids under the tent. All the kids went to Memorial except for Carmelo. Everybody under that tent is a teammate and a friend to Austin, so keep that in mind. Keep an open mind until you hear both sides. He then said Carmelo Anthony is about 5'8", 130 to 135-ish pounds. He said Austin and his brother is around 6'1" and 213 to 215 pounds. He said they were both significantly heavier and bigger than Carmelo. They were about 83 pounds heavier than Melo when they confronted him. You will hear different accounts of what was said. Touch me and find out. But others say, as long as you don't touch me, we are cool. Multiple witnesses took Melo's hand in bag as a back off. So he says that there was multiple kids in the tent, and when Carmelo, there's conflicting reports from the kids. So some of the kids say that Carmelo said, as long as you don't touch me, and then other kids say
you say what you want to say.
Said,
okay, that's what I would say. That's what I would say. So people who doing all of that, yabba, 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 I would say You say whatever you want to say as long as you don't touch me. So that is legit for me because that's what I would say, not the other thing. You can say we cool as long as you don't touch me. You can say whatever you want to say. Keep your hands to yourself because the minute you put your hands on me, we gonna have a problem. So I get that. I get that. We cool. We cool. As long as you don't touch me. I get that. But he said it wrong. Who said it wrong? I missed it. I was trying to look for a credit card. So I must have missed it.
He's saying that we're going to hear the different accounts from the different kids on one way or another saying two different things. Then he said that they saw Carmelo when he made that statement. He reached his hand in his bag or whatever. And he said most of the kids, when they saw him reach his hand in his bag, they took that as a sign of like, oh, let me back off. You know what I mean? Type of thing. And then he goes on to say everybody else took that as a sign for them to back off.
Yeah.
Except for Austin.
But I would say, yeah, because I wouldn't.
So
if I'm just thinking about if I was in a situation, I wouldn't say touch me and see what happens. No, I would say, as long as you don't put your hands on me, we you say whatever you want to say with your mouth, as long as you don't put your hands on me. So I'm more to the we cool as long as you don't put your hands on me. But I don't think I would ever say touch me and see what happens. No. Yeah, I'm more for the other one because that's how I would we don't have no until you put your hands on me, and the minute you touch me, it's on and popping. And whatever I can get my hands on is what I'm gonna get my hands on.
You ain't got nothing in that bag.
He said that.
Melo stays seated the entire thing.
Let me hush.
Then he said that they saw Carmelo when he made that statement. He reached his hand in his bag or whatever. And he said most of the kids, when they saw him reach his hand in his bag, they took that as a sign of like, oh, let me back off. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
Back up
and
off
then
me.
He goes on to say everybody else took that as a sign for them to back off, except for Austin and his brother. So he says that Austin says, you ain't got nothing in that bag. And Melo stays seated the entire time. It says Austin makes the first physical contact despite the warning. He grabs, shoves, and pushes Melo. In a split second, he has a decision to make, how and when to act. Self-defense is useless if you wait until it's too late to defend yourself. You will hear it was raining and Melo sat down out of the rain. In that moment, he has to decide what to do in the moment of fear and chaos.
To sing
Why
or swing.
not walk away? After Melo defended himself with a knife, he ran and didn't stab twice or hit anyone else. He dropped the knife right by the tent. He ran, stumbles, and falls. People are chasing him. He falls down the bleachers. He goes along the edge. Instead of going out the exit, he goes on the track, which is not the way out. Then walks straight up to a coach. You will see it on the video. Melo stayed with Vincent Cooper. He didn't try to hide. He told a cop when the cop had detained him and radioed and said, hey, we have our the alleged suspect. Carmelo wasn't trying to hide that he was responsible for this, and he told the cop that I did it, like I'm not alleged. He said
but
that
it was in self-defense.
Has the government and then they said, has the government ruled out that Carmelo acted in self-defense? And so that was his opening statement. So basically he ended it off with like, he wanted them to ponder if the government truly ruled out self-defense, okay? So after that, they called their first witness, and the first witness was a guy by the name of Mark Porter. He is a forensic video analysis, and he works for the district attorney and all of the prosecutors. Anyone who needs assistance with like video enhancements or trying to identify suspects in videos and things of that nature, he's their go-to guy for them to like look at video, enhance video, and all of those type of things. And so he said that there was going to be 5 different video angles that they were going to produce for us to see through him. It was going to be exhibits 5 through 9. They offered that. It says that they wanted to know, like, oh, what was the quality of the video? So they asked him, like, hey, what is the quality of the video? And the guy said that the video was in 4K. The prosecution wanted us to know that 4K video, just because like it's shot in 4K, doesn't mean that the TVs will show it in 4K. So he said that he was going to bring in a special 4K TV so that they can see it in 4K. Okay, so then it says, oh, so then they showed an exhibit that showed Austin and his brother and what they were wearing. It was a still frame of Austin, and it was a still frame of Austin's brother Hunter, and it showed what they were wearing on their way to the track meet. Then they showed a still image of Carmelo when he was like detained with the cops and like being arrested, and we were able to see what he was wearing. This all happened on the West football field at about 9:50 something a.m. So the timestamp that they had that this occurred, where they first saw Carmelo Anthony on surveillance, was 9:52 a.m. And that's when you first see him kind of appear out of the bleachers. I'm going to pause right there and do a check-in with you guys. Have you guys hit the like button yet? I am an independent journalist. I'm out here from California. I'm here in Texas on my own dime. I'm not sponsored by any corporation. I'm out here grinding for myself. And if you guys would like to donate to my travel fund, if you enjoy my breakdown of the case, I really could, use the support. Now, I'm not like these other folks that are going to spin a narrative for your support. I'm going to report it as it comes through the trial. I'm not getting support to be lean this way, lean that.
Spin a narrative to milk you out your money. Just ask for support.
Which way? I'm bringing it. I'm writing as much as I can.
Cause she ain't never lied.
Bringing it to you straight as whatever I can, jot down. I can't give every single thing because again, I'm writing it with my pen and paper. But it would mean a lot if you guys donated to the Cash App or
baby girl.
Me in the thumbnail, and then that I'm covering the trial and whatever. Let's move on. I don't want to spend too much time on that. I'm going to look into getting a Venmo and a Zelle and all of those things. I do have a Zelle to zoom in so that we can see, like, anything. The video was, even though, like, they're saying that the video is shot in 4K and it's all this high quality, it was so far back that when you zoom in, it's not 4K. Like, it's not the greatest quality. So we were up in there, and I really had to look. Like, they had the guy who was the expert, like, he had to use his laser pointer and point at the screen to show us, okay, this is when Carmelo pops out, because you can't see his face. We just going off of, you telling me that's Carmelo, so that's Carmelo. You get what I'm saying? Like, when we're looking at it, I can't look at that person that popped out and be like, oh, okay, I see Carmelo. All I could do is, okay, they did show me that when he got arrested, he got on a gray hoodie and blue pants. Okay, yeah, that figure does have a gray hoodie and blue pants, but I can't make out, like, you can't see a face. You get what I'm saying? Like it was blurry. Like you can see a body, but you can't see a face from when we saw the actual footage. Okay. So once he started like running out of the stadium, then you can see him a little more clear from the other angles. But the actual angle that shows the incident, you just see bodies, and we can only go off of they telling me that's him, so that's him. You get what I'm saying? Like I can see a body
Yeah,
there,
but you can
but I
still
can't
send a
see.
cash app
Anyways,
if
y'all get
you
my
want
drift.
to
So, all right.
keep
So
your
I'm looking
renewal.
at the footage, and they're like, "Okay, point and show us where Carmelo is." And so I'm looking. I'm like, "Is he to the left? Is he to the right?" Like, I see all of these dots on the. It's not dots, but I see all of these little bodies on the thing, and I'm like looking like, which one is he? And then the guy points, and he's like, "Okay, that's him popping out." And they say that the first time that you see him make an appearance is 9:52 and 45 seconds in the morning. So 9:52 and 45 seconds, he pops up and he walks out. So I'm like, okay, all right, I see blue, blue and gray. All right, okay, he popped out. So then he pops out, and then you see a figure go back down. So he pops out, and then he goes back down, and then after that, they show us another angle of him walking like past the tent. So he walks past one tent, and again, I can't see the faces of the people in the tent, but you can see it's a lot of bodies under one tent. Like the first tent that he walks by, looking at it, it's not like a tent where it's closed. Like in my mind, every time I heard them say tent, now this is, I'm telling on myself, I didn't play sports in high school. Okay. When I was in high school, I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be on TRL. I wanted to, I wanted to be like in the industry. Like that was my goal. I like to be taking pictures. I don't know nothing about that. So every time they said they were under a tent, in my head, I'm thinking when I go camping, the tent is closed. So I'm thinking it's not gonna be small like that, but I'm thinking that it's closed in. You know what I mean? So he walks by, and I'm like, that's a canopy, and not to make light of it, because this is a very serious situation, but, that's just the different things that's going on in my mind. Like, he walks by, and I'm like, they're like, okay, he walks by the first
Oh,
tent.
I
So I'm
thought you
like,
had. I
the
thought you
canopy,
had used
the canopy right there.
PayPal before.
Okay, so then he walks by, so it's like a canopy
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever. And in the canopy, again, I can't see their faces, but you can tell it's a lot of bodies under the first one, right? So then he walks he walks down a little bit further, and then you can see the other one that is a yellow canopy, and it's the one for the school that the victim, Austin, goes to. And you can see that it's not as many people, and he he goes to that canopy. So then after they show us that angle of him walking, then they show us a different surveillance angle of Austin and his brother walking in. So they were showing the timestamp of when Carmelo was walking, and then they start showing timestamps of when Austin and his brother walked in, and how they walked in from the parking lot and walked in from one way to the stadium or whatever, and they were showing us their angles, and they were like, okay, this is one brother. They both had the same outfit but different shoes. So this is one Metcalf. He has the
430 pounds.
And then the other brother had the same outfit
Plus the
as
other
him,
two guys.
and they look identical, but he had a different pair of shoes. So they were showing us how to identify which twin is which. And then they were showing us that they were walking up to the area of the track meet. Now, when they get to the tent, they make it to the tent before Carmelo Anthony. So they walk into the stadium, and it's like a few of them together. I want to say it's like Austin, Hunter, and I want to say 3 other boys that are a part of the track. They all walk in together and they're walking to the tent. So they make it to the tent, and 2 minutes after they make it to the tent, then Carmelo Anthony appears at the tent. After a total of 4 minutes from them entering the tent, 2 minutes later, Carmelo entering the tent. After 4 minutes go by, you don't really see a disturbance in the kids' behavior that are in the tent or around the tent. So while they're under the tent in those 4 minutes,
They
you
say it
see
was a pocket knife suppression.
people walking by with umbrellas. So you see like several students walk
They
by
said it
and
was
they
a
have
pocket
umbrellas
knife.
on. From the footage, you can see rain coming down in front of the camera, and then you see several students walking like this way, and they have ponchos on. So they have full rain
They
ponchos.
intentionally
Okay, so I
saying
counted.
it's
I
a
think it was
knife.
like 2 or
It's a
3
pocket knife.
that had
Or a steak or
ponchos.
something.
So they're walking straight. They got the ponchos on. So I'm like looking at the atmosphere around because you can't really see what's really going on in the canopy. And so there was kids constantly moving around. Like there's constant movement that, it's kids right here. They're walking this way. They're walking that way. They're kids under the tent. They're kids under this tent. And so all of this is going on, but it's normal behavior. It's not like they're not congregating when people are about to fight. It wasn't like, ooh, let's all check out the fight. Like everybody had normal behavior up until the actual stabbing. So everybody's going about business as usual. You see people walking like not a care in the world. They're not acting like, kids are not congregating. There's no sign that there's any disturbance under that tent. Immediately after there was the stabbing of Austin, they all start dispersing like Skittles or like ants or like whatever you want to call it. They all start like running out. You see Carmelo jump up, he like runs up the bleachers and then jumps down. Like he tries to like hurry up and run down. He jumps down and he like kind of falls, and then he jets out, and then as he's running out, there's kids behind him that's chasing him. And then he ends up running where there were some coaches right there, and they kind of stop him and then hand him off to his coach for his school. All right. So, but in the midst of that, let's see. All right. So the victim entered the stadium at 9:53:06, and they enter in the tent 9:54, and then at 9:56 is when you see Carmelo enter the tent at the top, and it says he enters the tent at 9:56 with 14 seconds, which was 2 minutes after the victims arrived in the tent. And then that's when I noticed the ponchos, the umbrellas. And so it says between 9:54 and 10 a.m. So 9:54 a.m. and 10 a.m., no movement under the tent indicates that anything is going on around the tent. By 10 a.m., that's when you see the first indication of something going on. A total of 4 minutes and 12 seconds is the total duration that they had their encounter from introduction to the assault. It all happened in 4.5 minutes. He runs away. He leaves from the top of the tent. He jumps down. He runs into the crowd. The kids are chasing after him. He goes up to the coach. And then they show the view from the parking lot. They show the victim and his twin walk into the stadium from another angle. And they show us again how they distinctively had the same outfit but different distinctive shoes. They and I noticed that they were walking in with 3 other boys, and you can see that there was a bunch of kids like still trying to enter into the track meet. So it says da, 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 da. So from the time that they entered into the stadium, had the encounter with Carmelo get arrested. All of this happened in a matter of 15 minutes. So they said from the point of Austin walking into the stadium all the way up until Carmelo being in handcuffs, that all happened within 15 minutes and 20 seconds. So then it was time for the defense to cross the legal video analysis, and they wanted to know if there was a way that he can tell that there was an argument. Now, like I told you, you can only see bodies, but you can't see like mouths, you can't really see faces, you could just see like a body is there. So they were wanting to know, hey, is there, like, can you show me where, like, they were arguing at? Can you see them arguing? And the video analysis guy said no. So they wanted to know, like, about, you know how sometimes in a video, like, there's so many frames per second? They wanted to know about any frames dropping, like, if like, a frame per second happened, like, could you miss, like, a movement? Can you miss, like, a head nod? Or can you miss, like, an action or something like that? And then they said that the rain was coming down, and they showed the video, and they showed that the person who shoved him was standing up, and the person who got shoved was not standing up. So what the defense wanted to prove is they kept going back and forth with the video analyst, and they were like, hey, the person that got shoved, do you see him standing when he gets shoved? And they wanted to basically paint the picture that Carmelo Anthony never stood up until he attacked back. That was kind of what he was trying to flesh out with the video analyst by asking him all of these series of questions about, it's possible that he never stood up. You don't see him standing up, right? Do you see him stand up when he pushed them? Do you see a figure? Are they both up? And he was basically getting to the point that, or what he was trying to get the jury to understand is, here comes these big guys, or these teenagers, they're teenagers, these big teenagers that are significantly bigger than Carmelo. He's under the tent talking to somebody who he thought was a friend. The defense made sure to say thought was a friend. And then they say, or try to get the people to, put in their mind that they come in, they're bigger than him, they're taller than him. He's sitting down. He's telling them that he's not going to move.
Y'all ready for me to move on to somebody else? She too long-winded for me.
Austin pushes him, and that's how this happened. So that's what the defense was basically trying to, flesh out to the jury through asking a series of questions of, is it possible that he didn't stand up? Did you take into account that you don't see a person, like he was asking them questions to try to like insinuate that Carmelo Anthony never stood up, that he was sitting down the entire time, and that they just walked up to him and pushed him, and then he had a split second to
because the coach told him to
that's when he stabbed
be a team leader. Be a leader.
Right. So then they wanted to know how long ago did he enhance the video, because he came in as the legal video expert to enhance the video, and he said that he only enhanced the video 2 weeks ago. So then they got done with him and they called their next witness. Their next witness was a black coach who was the coach for Austin and Hunter.
So
His name
he was
was
black.
Robert Blaine Starr Jr., and he's the head track coach at Frisco Memorial. He trains athletes in combat sports. He is originally from Oklahoma. He was promoted to varsity coach at Irving High School, and then he went to, was it Molina High School? Then he went to Memorial High School. Then they wanted to know his background, like, did you play football when you were in high school? He played football when he was in high school. He went to Virginia Tech. He has several different sports that he works with, and he does in-season or off-season coaching. They wanted to know, did you know Austin and Hunter, did you know who they were? And he says, yes, I was their position coach, and I knew them for a few years. He said, well, I knew Austin for 1 year and Hunter for 2 years. Then they wanted to show them 2 pictures. So they had 2 pictures blown up to show him of the victim and his brother. So he admitted the pictures and evidence. He went and showed him. He was like, this picture is of the victim, Austin. And then he showed another picture where he said, this picture is of the victim and the brother. I didn't get to see the pictures, but he told us like what the pictures were. And he showed it to their coach who, was the coach. Anyway. So, so he, okay, so, let's see. Oh, okay. So then he started to speak on what the culture is at a track meet. He said, usually at track meets, they're co-ed and everything as far as the tents. He was like, the tent business, he kind of went on his own separate tangent. He was like, the tent business, it's a $1 million business.
Wow.
Because I guess they always have to replace the tents because they get damaged and they always got to buy new ones, and they always have to have like a
I'm trying to get to the other guy that was there.
Logo, and he was talking about how it's like $1 million industry. I don't know how that was relevant, but he started saying that. Then he said that why the tent is so significant. All right, so he went into like how they have these custom tents and how it's $1 million business. And then he said that, and he wasn't saying that it was his business. He was just saying like the industry of it. Then he went into like what the importance of the tents are. He said that the tents are very important because they mark your spot and they are showing where your space is for your school on the bleachers. He said that normally at these track meets, it's normally around 60 to 65 kids, and they normally have about 6 or 7 coaches to chaperone. He said that the tents are pivotal because that's where they put all of their backpacks, their food, their valuables. He said because it's co-ed, there's boys and girls, they got to monitor, like, kids got different hormones going on and all of that. So he said that they like to always have a coach in proximity to kind of monitor everything that's going on, their valuables, the co-ed, because they always have boys and girls. It's only about 6 or 7
So
of
did
them
the
to like
coach
60 to 65 kids.
lead him to believe that he could do that?
They gotta, manage all of that. They don't need no kids sliding on their dime, okay? They don't need none of that. So he was saying that, why that is important. So he said that there's usually always a coach that hangs back and is around the tent. He said they call it proximity control, and that's basically keeping a coach close to the tent.
Do y'all want me to stay here or go to another one?
Because there are food and valuables and boys and girls together, and them being co-ed, they need a adult as close as possible. he said, but this particular track meet was different. So he said that there are times where they go to different schools so that they can go to the track meets and they're like not hosting the track meet. He said, but this
Earlier,
particular
one of the
track
guys
meet was
said
different because
a
number
pocket
one,
knife.
there was the rain that kind of triggered a delay. And then number two, he said that they were the ones that were hosting the track meet. So because they were the ones that was hosting the track meet, they had a lot more responsibilities to deliver, things. Like they had to make sure that, everything ran smoothly for the other students and the other teams. So they had more jobs to do than normal. Like normally they would be
Why are
able
they
to be
not
able to
talking
watch their
about?
kids more
Okay, I'm gonna have to
closely and
come back. I'm gonna have to.
have all of these things
I'll
happen. But
finish listening to her to see if she says something that's gonna pop for me. Right now, I'm not popping. Do I need to finish this and then go to
How to make your lip line look more defined and beautiful? Just use the Sheglin lip liner. It glides on silky smooth with high pigment and a long-lasting fade-resistant finish. This
Come
lip
on.
liner is perfect.
All back together in closing argument. Remember, we talked about senseless. Remember, all those same keywords and phrases will be incorporated into his close.
So, Rebecca, what are you wanting to hear in these opening statements from both sides?
Yeah, I usually just want them to lay out the case. What are we going to see? And, sometimes it'll...
I really am trying to get to. Let's see what this one says today.
During a
He said bombshell evidence. I'm see if he gonna be honest. He was a liar last night.
deadly confrontation. One teenager dead, another fighting for his
If you
future.
can
Today,
pick
prosecutors and defense
where
attorneys
she
delivered
left
starkly
off,
different versions of what happened
close
under
to
a
it.
crowded
Oh, so
track
you
tent
wanted
during
me
a
to
rain
stay
delay.
on Nick at night?
Confrontation that ended with Austin Metcalf stabbed to death.
I thought she was getting too slow for me, but I guess you want all the details. Oh, once I watch it. Okay. I don't want to hear no more opening statements, though. What are you saying?
Statements were this morning in the murder trial of Carmelo Anthony. Anthony is charged with stabbing and killing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco track meet last year.
So earlier this evening, jurors heard the emotional 911 call one of them made that day. While no charges were allowed, no cameras were allowed in the courtroom, Fox 4's Amelia Jones was able to sit in on the trial this afternoon. She joins us now live. Amelia.
I don't know what you're saying. Say it again. Which part of it you want? You want her or somebody else?
That day, it was very emotional for those in the courtroom, likely hearing it for the first time along the jury. The jury was also shown video surveillance from the stadium and the actual jacket used by one coach to put pressure on Metcalf's wounds before EMTs arrived. It was still stained with Austin Metcalf's blood. Day one in the murder trial of Carmelo Anthony ended with the testimony of a coach from Liberty High School who told the jury he performed CPR on Austin Metcalf and he heard the 17-year-old take his last breath. No cameras are allowed in the courtroom, but a court sketch artist captured an abstract snapshot that shows Coach Joshua Redman at the stand with a photo of the jacket he told the jury he used to put pressure on Metcalf's wound. Lead prosecutor Bill Werski physically held the jacket, now stained with Metcalf's blood. For the jury, 11 women and 7 men to see.
That blood is on Hunter's hands.
I think that it being at the end of the day really left a very strong impression in the jury's minds as they go home for the night. It's a long trial. There's going to be a lot of twists and turns, but today, if you were to ask me, I would say the prosecution scored some pretty big points.
Todd Shapiro
Lying,
is a
though.
attorney who is here as a court observer. He is not involved in the case. One of the most powerful moments of Thursday's testimony was the 911 call made by a fellow coach from the track meet that day. The chaos and screams were heard in the background as the 911 dispatcher is instructing the coach on what to do until EMTs arrived. You also hear Redmond in the background performing life-saving measures, pleading, "Stay with me, Austin. Stay with me, Austin." And again, "Come on, Austin. Come on, Austin." Redmond is a former Army veteran. He testified that when Austin began gasping for air, his training kicked in, and he knew the outcome was grim.
Well, I thought it was incredibly powerful, probably one of the most powerful moments I can recall in trials that I've had, of hearing something like that and listening to the reaction of the people around.
Moving north ain't always it.
In front of their eyes.
Witnesses told police Metcalf and Anthony got into an argument when Anthony sat underneath the Memorial High School
They are
tent.
definitely
Metcalf's
avoiding.
school.
It won't come out
Anthony was a
until
student at
the
Centennial High
defense.
School. Robert Starr, a coach for Memorial, testified that school tents are similar to a team bench in other sports. And quote, "You just don't go into someone else's tent uninvited." Starr choked up several times on the stand when he described seeing Metcalf's face turn purple. He also told the court he prayed with Metcalf's twin brother.
They're very important to painting that picture and making the story for the jury so they can connect with it.
Jurors also heard from a video forensic analyst and saw multiple angles of surveillance video from the stadium. Anthony, now 19 years old, appeared to watch several angles of surveillance video that, although grainy when zoomed in, it shows the attack and Anthony running away. Thursday morning, both sides laid out their case to the jury. The prosecution said Metcalf was stabbed in a sneak surprise attack, calling the act a senseless murder. Defense attorney Mike Howard painted a different picture, saying Anthony, 17 at the time, acted out of fear for his safety and said the stabbing was in self-defense. One thing Howard did not bring up was the knife Anthony brought with him, and that stood out to Shapiro.
Why did he have the knife? And I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to know the same thing, but it was interesting to me that he didn't mention anything about that during his opening statement.
During cross-examination of the last witness, Coach Joshua Redmond, the defense asked if it's allowed for other students to visit the tents of other high schools. The defense followed up by asking about other students warming up for an event, possibly seeking shelter from the weather. According to the defense, Centennial High School did not have a tent up that day, and it was raining the morning of the track meet. Court will resume tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Oh, okay.
During a rain delay, a confrontation that ended with Austin Metcalf stabbed to death and Carmelo Anthony facing a possible life sentence. Why did this teenager bring a knife to a track meet? What really happened under that tent during a rain delay? We learned a shocking new piece of information about the knife allegedly used to kill Austin Metcalf. We are inside the courtroom as the mystery at the heart of this case begins to unfold. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Before we get into this episode of On the Case, I got to talk about our partner and sponsor, Kalshi. If you have ever wondered if you did they argue the teenager murdered Austin Metcalf, they say it was premeditated. Now, there is video of the alleged incident that was shown in court today. And Court TV's Cody Thomas is in the courtroom for us for this trial. He saw that video for himself. He's going to join me here in a moment to break down what he saw. Now, as a reminder, there are a lot of restrictions when it comes to how we are covering this trial because the judge has not allowed any cameras or audio or live streaming of this trial. So really the only way you're going to be able to get insight on this case is if you follow along with us here on the case as well as with Court TV's Cody Thomas. So let's start with how this day started. And I want you to look at this drone video. We shot this outside the courthouse. This is before opening statements, and there was a line of people here in Collin County. It's outside Dallas. We think there was roughly 200 people.
Let me see. Let's see these 200 people.
Outside the courthouse, trying to get in to see this trial take place, and there's just 27 spots in the courtroom. Now, before we get to what prosecutors and defense attorneys argued in their opening statements, we need to talk about this jury. Look, there is no question that race is one of the elements that has made this story the center of a lot of attention.
Yes.
On top of the fact that you have a young man who lost his life at a track. And the racial makeup of this jury is definitely something getting attention here. Now, this jury, it's 12 people. We're told it is made up of 3 Asian women, 1 Middle Eastern woman, and a woman of color. But reportedly, no African Americans are on this jury. And the rest of the jury is made up of white men. Now, according to local reports, 3 African American women were stricken from the jury, claiming they had bias in the case, claiming they didn't want to convict Carmelo Anthony. Now, the court went through more than 600
Oh, wow.
potential
So the
jurors
black
in
people didn't
selection
want
process.
to
And
convict
one
them.
question
3
we are
of them.
told hung up a lot of
Hey,
people
Belinda.
was whether they could convict a teenager and put him away for life. Now, Carmelo Anthony is
This
that
judge, because
charged with
there's
first-degree
evidence
murder
that
in the death
shows
of another
that
teen
he
named
was
Austin
being
Metcalf.
attacked
And
by
we have
4
not seen
guys.
Anthony on the outside of the courthouse as we did when he posted bond last year. The road surrounding the courthouse has been blocked off, and it does appear
It was
that
4-on-1.
Carmelo is being brought into court away from cameras. Again, very strict rules when it comes to this trial by the judge. We can't film inside the courthouse. We can't film the trial. We can't live
I
stream
don't know.
it. So we just have
Everybody
the words
lying.
of the people who
I
are
mean,
witnessing it for themselves, like Cody. Now, prosecutors
We-
dropped some new information today, and it's
They
information
never.
we didn't
This
know
guy
until
right
the
here
opening
is not going to tell
and
us
before
it
we
was
get to that, I wanna
five
lay
guys that
out
went
for
to
you the
attack him.
timeline.
They're
And I'm
just
gonna
not
lay
going
out
to tell
this
us that.
timeline using the perspectives of the prosecution and the defense. So all of this took place last year.
'Cause they
on
already know it's
April
self-defense.
2nd, and it was at a track meet for local high schools in Frisco, Texas.
So that's
And you have
why he's
Austin
trying
Metcalf's
to
high school and Carmelo
poison the
Anthony's
head
high school.
into
Those
saying
were 2 of the schools competing in this track meet. Everything changes
there
when
was no
a
need,
rainstorm
no need.
moves into the area, and it delayed this track meet. So everybody's
there-
going
it
to
was
maybe back to their bus,
unnecessary.
maybe they're
Yeah,
going to
it's
a
a lie.
tent underneath, and
Keep your hands to
Carmelo's
yourself.
high school did not have a tent, but Austin Metcalf's high school did. And Carmelo ducks under the tent of Austin Metcalf's high school. Now, this is where the versions of events are very different between the prosecution and the defense.
They have that Trump syndrome. Keep saying, "Oh, it was unnecessary. He went there with the intent to. It was premeditated. Premeditated." That's they
So
pulling
you have
the
the
Trump.
prosecution who says that Metcalf's team told Carmelo Anthony to leave from being under the tent, and Carmelo wouldn't move. And the defense says that the reason that Carmelo went to the tent is because he had recognized a close family friend of his girlfriend. Now, the defense says that once Austin Metcalf and his twin brother noticed Carmelo, they told him to leave, and Carmelo was just confused as to why it was a big deal that he was under the tent. Now, the prosecution says that when Carmelo was asked to leave the tent, he said something along the lines of, "Make me." When Austin Metcalf stepped up to Carmelo to tell him to leave, they end up having some words, and that's when Carmelo Anthony allegedly stabs Austin Metcalf in the chest. And a big piece of information that is new information to us related to the alleged murder weapon, prosecutors say it was a folding knife, and that knife was already opened. And they allege that
How did
the
they
knife
see
was
that?
ready, and they say that Carmelo Anthony.
How did they see that if it was grainy?
They characterize what happened as Carmelo baiting Austin Metcalf into a confrontation. Now, the defense side of it, again, very different from what the prosecution is saying. They are arguing that Carmelo had
Where
to act
is,
in self-defense. They say that Austin Metcalf was
the regular guy
They say
for,
that Austin made the first physical contact with Carmelo, and Carmelo had to react.
Lock-on. That's not
to
who
a
I
moment of
normally
chaos,
watch.
And he used that knife to protect himself. So
Lock-on.
after the stabbing, Carmelo ran. The prosecution argues that the fact that he drops the knife and he takes off, it proves guilt. They also say that he tried to allegedly blend in with the crowd when people went looking for him. The defense, they say that
Did he
Carmelo
take off
ran
his
because he was defending
sweatshirt?
himself, that he was trying to get out of the situation.
Yes, they are lying.
And they say that he went to one of his coaches until police arrived. Now, once police arrived, Carmelo is quoted as saying, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." And prosecutors say that proves that Carmelo knew what he did. They also say that Carmelo said, quote, "I told him not to when speaking about Austin.
You told him not to
They
what?
say that also shows that
Touch me.
Carmelo wasn't afraid for his life. That Carmelo, they argue, murdered Austin Metcalf. Now the defense, they look at the sequence of events a little different. They say that the fact that Carmelo said, "I'm not alleged, I did it," that doesn't prove anything. They say, if anything, it shows that he wasn't hiding the fact that he was involved in this altercation and that he had to do it because it was self-defense. Now, of course, a big question that was raised by prosecutors right out of the gate this morning is, I think, a question that hangs over this trial. And it's, why does a 17-year-old kid competing at a high school track meet, middle of the week, why does he need to bring a knife with him? And we'll talk about how the defense may address that in a moment. The defense, at the start of their opening statements today, they took
He
the
had
approach
no
of trying to
intention
paint
on
Carmelo
using it
Anthony not
for
as
that.
a killer, but telling the jury that he's a good kid. This is a guy who was voted captain of his football team. He's someone who has never been in trouble with the law. He works multiple jobs. He enjoys playing chess. He enjoys going camping. They say that he is not the monster that prosecutors are alleging that he is. Now, witness testimony is going to be a driving force behind this trial, but also today, prosecutors showed surveillance video of the incident. Cody Thomas of Court TV was in the courtroom today for all of the testimony.
Oh, I don't want to hear him.
Cody, I know that there's a 911 call that was played that we'll talk about, some very emotional testimony there at the end of the day, but I want to begin right
very
after
limited
opening statements. Surveillance video of this incident was shown. What can you tell us about that?
People.
Yeah, Chris, it was 5 different angles, surveillance video. It looked like the cameras were on like the light post inside the high school football stadium because
I may have to go back to
that. So the first witness was a forensic video analyst who obviously went through and tried to enhance the videos. We watched the original videos first, and quite frankly, you really couldn't see much of anything. And then after a few minutes, we zoomed in. He showed all the enhancements, and he had spot shadowing and highlighting who we're supposed to be looking at. You can't really make out any distinct features, and the prosecution admitted that before they even played the video. They had to look at clothing and identify the person of interest, who, of course, is Carmelo Anthony, and the victim, who is Austin Metcalf. So they outlined all of that based on the photos that came out later once Carmelo was taken into custody. But, again, the videos, it establishes what happened. You can definitely make out what happened, but it wasn't, to me, personally, as compelling as I thought it would be, because it looks like gas station video. It's really grainy. It's zoomed in. When it's zoomed out, it looks high quality, but when it zooms in, as you know, with any picture, it loses some of the quality. But you can see the tent where everything goes down. You see Carmelo Anthony walk under the tent 2 minutes before.
Okay. I found the guy I was looking for.
And then everything starts going down.
Hold on. Oh, because these people repeating the same stuff. Maybe I need to play it on this device. Yeah, that's getting on my nerve. This is who I was looking for. The brother who was out there.
And I was talking to him. What is going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another 7 o'clock premiere. If it's your first day. It's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back. And I do appreciate support. Today was, I guess they call it day 3 because they count day 1 and 2 as trial days. I count day 1 as when,
trial
starts. So I'm saying day 1. Day 1, the Carmelo Anthony murder trial. And I went down there to the courthouse multiple times a day, stayed down there for a little while. Did a couple videos, you guys seen them. And they had one witness who I still don't know who it is. I mean, I didn't get a chance to get in there because the damn line was up. City block long.
Longer than Diddy's.
Before trial. They only let 27 people in, which you guys already know that. But anyway, tomorrow I'm going to get up super early. And when I say super early, like dark. And they said people was out there at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be one of them people that's out there at 5.
Forever. We done already played that Forever 3.
You know, it's hard to do these stories.
Yeah.
Over hearing what other people are saying. and different people have different
I
perspectives
played.
of
I
watching
was
the
probably
same
one of the
thing.
first ones to play it.
And you know, I didn't come out here for that. And you know, it really bothered me that I didn't get in
It
the
was
courtroom.
two
It
of them.
wasn't, you know,
I had
my
two
fault or anything,
guys.
but I mean, I traveled almost 5 hours to get here yesterday, and I gotta see the tape because if I see the video and
Y'all
they
please hit
said
the
the
like
video
button
was
for the few
grainy, we'll
people
get to
that's
that in a
here.
second. It'll open a whole nother perspective of my opinion, you know. But from what they're
Yeah, I
saying in the courtroom,
beat
I'll
old
show you a
boy.
video that sums up what happened today. They're saying, you know, Cody
Not that I was
from
trying to,
Court
but yeah,
TV,
we
who I
seen it. We
became
went over
cool with out here,
it.
was talking. He would tell me, he say, bro, they look like blobs on the screen, like you can't even see the people. You know what I'm saying? He said you can see something's going on, you can't really see the people. But he also told me this. He said that Carmelo was under the tent for 2 minutes before the Metcalf brothers came. And when they came in there, something happened to where things kicked off. Now my thing is this, and you know, you're
Why they don't
hearing
want to tell us about the other
honorable,
boys and why they're not
you know,
brought
you're
up
hearing
on
first degree
charges?
murder, you're hearing all of this type of stuff as far as self-defense. In my opinion, man, that shit is subjective. With every court case, you're hearing some people, legal analysts saying, "Oh, why didn't he just walk away?" You're hearing other people saying, "Well, when he said, touch me and find out," self-defense went out the window. No, he's telling somebody, don't touch me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to be honest, boy's 19 years old. He was 18 when this happened.
He was
Right?
17.
Or 17 or whatever. I don't even know. It was a year ago. How many of you men out there, let's keep it real,
Let's just keep it real.
have told somebody, hit me and see what happened. Touch me and see what happened. Say that again, see what happened. Stop or see what happened. They're making it like that's a code word to being aggressive and stuff. You're telling somebody to leave you the fuck alone. You see what I'm saying? And you know, on my platform, man, I try to be honest. I definitely give you my honest opinion, whether some people like it or not. But I mean, some of the stuff, man, that's out here, as far as like people giving their opinion and stuff,
It's
that's
bizarre.
their opinion.
They,
You know,
they
on my
just
channel,
they
I
wouldn't
do what I
apply.
do.
They
Now,
wouldn't
you know, a
apply
lot
it
of
in
you
real
guys
life.
have been, you know, insightful in the comments and telling me what you heard and this and that. And some of the stuff I heard before, but I didn't hear it from a viable source, so I don't say it in my videos. And I appreciate you telling me. You know what I mean? We all family and we talk amongst themselves. But I mean, when I'm on camera and I'm talking to you guys, I don't want to put something out that I can't verify. So, with that being said, earlier today, guy that works for the ISD and the teacher supposedly gave me information. And when they gave me the information, I related to you guys. Now, Cody, you know what I'm saying, came out from Court TV, and when he did his thing, I was right there when he did his live stream because I almost walked in front of the camera. And I was talking to him about it, and I explained to him what the guy said to me. He said, okay, what he's explaining to you was part of what he saw. He said he might have seen it last year. He said, but you can see some of what he's saying. Like, he didn't say all of it was true. I didn't, you know, go back and forth and say who, this and that. I just told him what I saw, and then he was like, he kept shaking his head like, okay, yeah. And then that was it. But, I mean, I got to see the video, y'all. I do. Because, I mean, this shit right here, man, you know, you got people outside protesting, and, like, I'm going to tell you another thing. I seen this when I did that last video when I was in my car in the parking lot because it was too hot to be outside. I don't know the guy. I did stories on this guy. He be on social media. He a white dude. They'll show it. He probably somewhere. The protesters that was out there this morning, you know, it was a lot of people. They was peaceful. You had white protesters. You had black protesters. Some
that mega guy
on different sides, right? Very peaceful. It was police out there, but the presence wasn't, you know. I get in there, and it wasn't a lot. It was more protesters than it was in the morning when I went back that second time, right? Now, I'm in the car for about 30 minutes before I started doing the video for you because I was still editing my other video. All of a sudden, now they got a full police force out there. They're patrolling the whole parking lot. Like, I mean, front and back of the building. Like, they just making sure nothing going on. They got motorcycle cops. They got cops and SUVs, sheriffs and SUVs, all kind of stuff, right? When I got done making that video with y'all, and I'm driving out of there, I looked and I seen I'm like, man, why the hell are all these cops up there at the front of but the protesters are mainly at the front of the road. So when you're coming in the turn in, they're right there on opposite sides of the little turning part. I'm coming out of there, right? And I see it's a white dude. I don't know. I can't remember his name. I did stories on this guy. He's the guy, if you guys remember, when they was protesting in New York, he was talking about the Muslims and he was roasting a pig. If anybody know his name, put his name in the thing. He was there. So he must have came while I was doing the video. He come out there, he got one dude with a damn towel on his face standing behind him. And he got on he got on a military flak jacket vest. And he's talking, and like, black people, I guess they know who he is, so they're going back and forth. And he's spitting stats, and he's doing all this. They got somebody on social media showing him, right? And they got all these cops over there just looking at him like, and I was like, everything was peaceful until this piece of shit showed up. And I can't remember his name, but I was driving and I was looking at, I turned and I looked and I seen him. I'm like, what the fuck, all these people? Because he got a flag with American flag, and then where the stars is at, he had like Britain on it. And he got this skinny ass kid walking around with the damn flag. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me, I just gotta say this, y'all. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of people go to these protests, and it's a high percentage of them. And I'm not talking about all the people that was out there or anything like that. But this dude that I'm talking about, the white dude, he show up at spots just for exposure and always talking crazy when you know the cops is out there. You ain't going nowhere where it's a hood and you're going to do that shit without no police presence. Why you got a vest on in front of the courthouse? If somebody do something to you, the police right there, it's an easy investigation. Listen, if you got to wear a vest or something like that where you feel as though your life is in danger for something that come out your mouth, keep your fucking mouth closed. I had told Tony, I looked at it, I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. Because it was making me mad the way he was acting and stuff, man. But it's theatrics. And I'm like, he do what he do, that's it. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of upset me, because he's only showing up. He don't care about them kids or nothing. Right. This punk ass only showing up out there. I ain't the slobber. He only showing up out there for himself and whatever agenda he has to make himself look good. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, if you walked up to him and asked him any of the particulars of the case,
he couldn't tell you.
Up and before they went to trial today, he probably didn't even know anything. He probably going off rumors. They said this, they said that.
Stir up trouble.
I don't give a fuck what they said. One kid is dead, and another one is fighting, for his freedom. Now, regardless of what happened with the situation, it's messed up all the way around. Take a look at the latest videos of, I put something together for y'all, and I'm telling y'all, listen, I am working, guys. I'm working to get in there. I mean, I am working. So tomorrow morning, we're going to do this thing all over again, and we're going to go out there. Now, a lot of y'all are telling me to stay. I don't have the money to stay. I didn't have the money to get out here. Remember, I just came from Vegas last week with the Crime Con situation, network thing with Tony. So, somebody in the comment section said, hey, how much is it to go gavel to gavel? It's going to be done by next Friday. I don't know. That's what they're saying. I only been home 3 days. You know what I mean? In the past 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, past 10 week. So, I will come out here. I talk to my wife. I'll come back out here if I can raise enough money to get back out. I don't know how much it's going to cost because my room here, and then I have to go home this weekend. So, I'm going to stay. If they do something Saturday, I'm going to stay until 12 and get some coverage for you guys. And I'll probably do the video as a live.
Oh, man. Hold on. Is this the guy he talking about that was out there starting mess? He walked and stood right in front of the black people. This is who he was talking about with the flag. Are y'all still with me? Drinking that Monster, scared. I thought it was that other guy.
4.5 minutes. You see, just kind of some humanoid blobs on the yellow Memorial High School tent, and then you see one figure kind of jolts, really fast jolts to and from, which they were saying, the prosecution was saying that was the initial push. They're not denying that Austin Metcalf.
Wait a minute, what's playing? Because it ain't him.
They admitted that there was a physical altercation, but that was the moment you saw the push, and then of course you see the 25, 30 kids start scattering throughout the bleachers, and then you see the person of interest again, Carmelo Anthony, running down the bleachers, running a ways away from where the tent was, out onto the track and into the arms of another coach, Chris. But
what is playing?
Of course, establishing, giving us, painting a picture.
Oh. Okay, let me get back to him. I'm tripping, so I guess I must be sleepy. What time is it?
This dude. So he must have came while I was doing the video. He come out there, he got one dude with a damn towel on his face standing behind him. And he got on he got on a military black jacket vest. And he's talking, and black people, I guess they know who he is, so they're going back and forth. And he's spitting stats, and he's doing all this. They got somebody on social media showing him, right? And they got all these cops over there just looking at him like, and I was like, everything was peaceful until this piece of shit showed up. And I can't remember his name, but I was driving and I was looking at, I turned and I looked and I seen him. I'm like, what the fuck, all these people? Because he got a flag with American flag, and then where the stars is at, he had like Britain on it. And he got this skinny ass kid walking around damn flag. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me, I just gotta say this, y'all. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of people go to these protests, and it's a high percentage of them. And I'm not talking about all the people that was out there or anything like that. But this dude that I'm talking about, the white dude, he show up at spots just for exposure and always talking crazy when you know the cops is out there. You ain't going nowhere where it's a hood and you're going to do that shit without no police presence. Why you got a vest on in front of the courthouse? If somebody do something to you, the police right there, it's an easy investigation. Listen, if you got to wear a vest or something like that where you feel as though your life is in danger for something that come out your mouth, keep your fucking mouth closed. I had told Tony, I looked at it, I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. Because it was making me mad the way he was acting and stuff, man. But it's theatrics. And I'm like, he do what he do, that's it. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of upset me, because he's only showing up. He don't care about them kids or nothing. His punk ass only showing up out there. I ain't even a slobber. He only showing up out there for himself and whatever agenda he has to make himself look good. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, if you walk up to him and ask him any of the particulars of the case, up and before they went to trial today, he probably didn't even know anything. He probably going off rumors. They said this, they said that. I don't give a fuck what they said. One kid is dead, and another one is fighting, for his freedom. Now, regardless of what happened with the situation, it's messed up all the way around. Take a look at the latest videos of, I put something together for y'all, and I'm telling y'all, listen, I am working, guys. I'm working to get in there. I mean, I am working. So tomorrow morning, we're going to do this thing all over again, and we're going to go out there. Now, a lot of y'all are telling me to stay. I don't have the money to stay. I didn't have the money to get out here. Remember, I just came from Vegas last week with the Crime Con situation, network thing with Tony. So, somebody in the comment section said, hey, how much is it to go gavel to gavel? It's going to be done by next Friday. I don't know. That's what they're saying. I only been home 3 days. You know what I mean? In the past 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, past 10 week. So, I will come out here. I talk to my wife. I'll come back out here if I can raise enough money to get back out. I don't know how much it's going to cost because my room here, and then I have to be down there, and hopefully you pray I can get up in there. I'm going to try my damnedest. Take a look at this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
All right, you got to stop buying generic Viagra if y'all over 40. You can get 9 pills of 100
Oh,
milligrams generic
Lord.
Viagra for just $7 with free shipping from Friday Plan.
Who
If you
is
think it's a
choosing
scam like I
these?
did at first, peep this.
I want to begin now with what jurors watched. They watched digitally enhanced surveillance video that recorded the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf. Our JD Miles has been in the courtroom all day long, joins us live now outside the Collin County Courthouse with a lot of developments to talk about today. JD.
Ken, prosecutors this morning wasted no time showing the only known video to exist that documented at least some of what happened during the time Austin Metcalf was killed. The videos were the first evidence introduced today, but it's unclear how much impact it will have on the jury, even though they were digitally magnified by an expert who was the state's first witness. Carmelo Anthony pleaded not guilty before his murder trial began inside a packed courtroom, where his family and the family of Austin Metcalf sat on opposite sides. Outside the courthouse, protests and demonstrations grew larger, and at times they confronted each other. A jury of 11 women and 7 men that includes 6 alternates was sworn in, and opening statements made clear the positions of the prosecution and defense. This case has nothing to do with race. This case has nothing to do with self-defense, said prosecutor Bill Worski. This was an unprovoked, unjustified murder. It is senseless. Prosecutors say the defendant was confronted by Austin Metcalf for sitting under a competing high school's tent during a high school track meet. Prosecutors say Anthony had a 5-inch knife, which was plunged into the chest, buried into the heart of another young man, causing his death, and then he ran away. Anthony's lawyer, Mike Howard, described him to the jury as an A student, diagnosed with epilepsy, and that he went to the tent because he was looking for a place to get out of the rain. The defense says Austin makes the first physical contact, in spite of the warning, touch me and find out, or whatever was said. In that
Or whatever was said.
Melo has a decision to make.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hit the like button. Or you asked me to stay up.
When testimony began, prosecutors called a video analysis expert who enhanced surveillance video at the stadium, which recorded the scene of the fatal stabbing. The video expert testified that
you hear or whatever was said. Y'all hear that?
To talk about today.
He said or whatever. What you mean or whatever? Don't be no here lying.
This morning wasted no time showing the only known videos to exist that documented at least some of what happened during the time Austin Metcalf was killed. The videos were the first evidence introduced today, but it's unclear how much impact it will have on the jury.
I can't wait till the defense get up there.
Magnified by an expert who was the state's first witness. Carmelo Anthony pleaded not guilty before his murder trial began inside a packed courtroom, where his family and the family of Austin Metcalf sat on opposite sides. Outside the courthouse, protests and demonstrations grew larger, and at times they confronted each other. A jury of 11 women and 7 men that includes 6 alternates was sworn in, and opening statements made clear the positions of the prosecution and defense. This case has nothing to do with race. This case has nothing to do with self-defense, said prosecutor Bill Worski. This was an unprovoked, unjustified murder. It is senseless. Prosecutors say the defendant was confronted by Austin Metcalf for sitting under a competing high school's tent during a high school track meet. Prosecutors say Anthony had a 5-inch knife, which was plunged into the chest, buried into the heart of another young man, causing his death, and then he ran away. Anthony's lawyer, Mike Howard, described him to the jury as an A student, diagnosed with epilepsy, and that he went to the tent because he was looking for a place to get out of the rain. The defense says Austin makes the first physical contact, in spite of the warning, touch me and find out, or whatever was said. In that split second, Melo has a decision to make, how and when to act. So he reacts in a split second of fear
or
and
whatever
chaos.
Was said.
When testimony began, prosecutors called a video analysis expert who enhanced surveillance video at the stadium, which
how can they do that? Or whatever was said. So you don't know or you don't want the people to know. That's not a large pocket knife. Yeah, but he's been exaggerating from the beginning. They are exaggerating.
With race, this case has nothing to do with self-defense, said prosecutor Bill Worski. This was an unprovoked, unjustified murder. It is senseless. Prosecutors say the defendant was confronted
Now
by
it's
Austin
whatever
Metcalf
he said.
for sitting under a competing high school's tent during a high school track meet. Prosecutors say Anthony had a 5-inch knife, which was plunged into the chest, buried into the heart of another young man, causing his death, and then he ran away. Anthony's lawyer, Mike Howard, described him to the jury as an A student diagnosed with epilepsy, and that he went to the tent because he was looking for a place to get out of the rain. The defense says Austin makes the first physical contact. In spite of the warning, touch me and find out, or whatever was.
How can it go? All this time is touch me and find out. Now it's whatever he said. Instead of saying, we cool as long as you don't touch me. We cool. That's the whatever was said. They running with touch me and find out, or whatever was said. Whatever was said is, I'm cool as long as you don't touch me. Big difference. These people are liars.
In that split second, Mello has a decision to make, how and when to act. So he reacts in a split second of fear and chaos. When testimony began, prosecutors called a video analysis expert who enhanced surveillance video at the stadium, which recorded the scene of the fatal stabbing. The video expert testified that the enhanced video shows someone push or shove someone to the left under the tent filled with students, and the other person push or shove back. He admitted it did not appear to show the actual stabbing. A defense attorney said, "You can't really tell what people are doing under the tent, can you?" Witness: "Yes, sir."
Tonight, this viral video of a Kansas single father chasing down a tow truck is sweeping social.
I was in the courtroom when those videos were shown, and we weren't close enough to the monitor to really tell if those videos supported one side or the other, but I did notice that they did not elicit any kind of visible response from the jury. Testimony continues at this hour. We'll keep you updated. For now, live in McKinney, JD Miles, CBS News, Texas.
Now to someone who was inside of that courtroom listening to these opening statements. No cameras, but we have our eyes and ears inside of the courtroom. Cody Thomas joins us now live outside of the courthouse in McKinney, Texas. Cody, good to see you. Tell me about those opening statements. First of all, what was it like being inside of the courthouse for those?
See, it has limited coverage.
We know this judge is really laying down the law inside that courtroom.
Yeah, so
last year. So they start. But anyway, they identified Carmelo walking up the bleachers, kind of walking towards the tent. He kind of goes towards someone, and you see him standing there for a couple of minutes. Then you see Austin Metcalf, his twin brother, and his friends walking up and getting under the tent. And then once everything's happening under the tent, it just kind of looks like a blob of people. You can't really make out anything that's really going on for 5 to 6 minutes. And then you see a quick to and from. And they were implying that was like the push, the initial contact. You can't really see anything happening. Before then, you see people walking by. They're not really, turning
so
heads. They're
seeing different videos, obviously.
But all of a sudden, you see that to and from, and then you see Carmelo, or who they identify as person of interest, who we're assuming to be Carmelo Anthony. He runs out from under the tent, and then he's running down the bleachers, sprinting a ways away from the tent and out of the stadium onto the track and everything.
Y'all, that's all they got. Now we just hearing the same old, to be honest with you. And it's almost midnight. I'll be back on it tomorrow. Let me get some rest. Okay, good people. Yeah, because now they're just repeating the same stuff that we have heard. Self-defense is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. And none of those Fours and Fox 4s and none of those people, none of them, and I do mean none of them, want you to know that it was 4 or 5 people. They are kind of mentioning it but they won't tell you that those are the people who were attacking him, just like who was running him and chasing him down. They won't tell you that that was the crew. That yeah, they won't tell you that. Hunter and even Austin was chasing after him until he realized that he had been poked. Yep. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. I can't wait for the defense to get on there and tell us the truth. But I'll see y'all tomorrow.